out on the ocean, and you had a brief run-in with some aquatic citizens that you managed to fend off, and then you crash landed into a gigantic mirror.
That's like 7 years bad luck times.
It's technically one mirror.
I mean, who's driving the boat?
We're not in the boat anymore. We are now on the mirrored surface.
He's applying
boat somewhat damaged.
He's applying the bad luck.
But I spent some time repairing the boat.
Yes, but we're not sure it's going to work, right?
We cast mending on the boat.
So, now you guys find yourself standing on this large, pristine sheet of glass. Off to the west, you can see very, very distantly what appears to be landmass. It's pretty shadowed. You can't tell exactly what it is. And you actually also notice something a little to the northeast that looks also kind of like a shadowed landmass. If you're talking, yeah, I think you're muted.
I can't hear anybody.
I can hear.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Football field's away, is it?
Yeah. That's what I was asking. I was literally asking that. Can I tell how much distance it is?
I feel like we need a smaller measurement too. Can we do like baseball diamonds or something?
This is why Kai is here, to prepare combat and to talk about distance.
At least 30.
So
at least 30 what?
In the meantime, I'm telepathically reaching out to my patron to go, hey, sorry about the mirror. Our bad.
Not our bad.
Your bad.
Oh, it's not my bad. I wasn't driving, but I'm, trying to
It's
reform.
not our bad that it's in the middle of the frickin' sea. Did we get a distance idea of that?
30 football fields.
Okay, nobody said so. Okay.
Well, it literally said. I told you, which means that Cog conveyed that information, since I knew it.
Well, I asked and I never heard any response.
That's on you.
No.
So I'm gonna go in and say a chai latte and a gimlet. Do not mix up.
Okay.
What?
Oh, yeah. I think we all could have told you that.
What's a gimlet?
It's like gin and lime.
Oh.
Gross.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Okay, Rafferty, this is your gig. Where are we going?
I'm going to point out the land to the other people. Can I mean, do I have an idea about how long it would take us to walk 30 football fields?
I don't know.
A couple of miles, 6 miles an hour, 20 minutes.
Do we walk 6 miles an hour?
I don't know. I think it's something weird like that. And
so a pretty brisk pace would be 5 miles an hour.
You're pretty sure you could make it by day's end. You could make the walk within a day. How about that?
See, I'm very alarmed that they want us to walk across the mirror to a shadowed land. I find that very disturbing.
I mean, either way, so there are two shadowed lands, and either way, you are currently in the middle of a mirror. So, and it's not like it's shadowed, it's just very far in the distance. You can't make out the details. So it's not like spooky haunted forest.
I feel like the fact that she's calling it the Shadowlands is making me not want to go there.
I mean, that's a Leah original, though, so...
It's perfect.
So are we, just out of curiosity, so I can see land to
East and west.
in front of us at two different places, or are we between two bits of land?
If you were heading north, over to the west, you can see, we'll say, a silhouette of land on the horizon. And then up to the north, you can see what appears to be like an island. It's a small blip of land up ahead of you.
Well, I guess we should make for the nearest piece of land and then decide what we're going to do from there. Right?
Rafferty, this is your gig.
Yes, I'll make sure that no one can track us, and I get out some Windex. Which landmass is closer?
Seem to be about equidistant.
And one is north and one is west?
Mm-hmm. The north one is just like this little shadowed blip on the horizon. Excuse me, not shadowed, silhouetted blip on the horizon. It looks like
Dimly lit.
Island.
Dimly lit.
And then the west, you can gather, is likely the shore of the Unseelie Court.
They're not shadowed. They're
We're going
hazy.
north.
Hazy in the distance.
Counterpoint. We
Exactly.
were supposed to go to the Diamond Sea, and if we're on land, we're not on the Diamond Sea.
We're looking for where my master docks his ship, if he docks it.
Probably not in the middle of the mirror.
He's kind of a tough guy. I mean, you just...
And I mean, we're only assuming that the ship goes in water. Maybe it flies.
That's weird.
Rafferty, pick
I
a
don't like it.
direction.
We're going north.
Okay,
Okay.
north.
Davi's starting off north.
Okay. So you guys start heading north. And as you do, obviously, the shadow comes, or excuse me, not shadow, silhouetted landmass.
You can say shadow. Just don't let Leah make everyone freak out about it.
You know, begins to grow in size. And, you know, it becomes more and more clear that you're definitely heading towards something massive. It looks to be like an island or something of the sort. You go for a couple hours, and then you actually start, Davi, you're able to kind of make out, there appears to be something that was harder to make out before because of how far away it was, and it was against the backdrop of the island, but you do appear to be approaching a second structure more quickly. Something that, you know, you expect to reach within an hour or so that is in between you and the island.
Davi will point that out.
Like a boat structure?
Would be a solid guess. It's definitely not as big as the island.
Rafferty, before we get where we're going,
Should we take a short rest?
who else? I don't,
Why?
I don't know.
Is there-
Just in case.
Rafferty,
Give me
is there
some long
anything
rest.
else in that bag we should know about?
You're
You're muted.
It's my favorite part of D&D.
Nothing else in the bag bears any connection to any one of us.
That was not the question.
That's the answer.
So you guys-
None of us are at risk from anything else in the bag.
So do you guys continue forward?
Didn't we fight something before we came here, or did we just come off of
That
a
was
long
that was when we were still floating.
Alright, I just am not sure where we're at.
On a mirror.
My God, I swear to everything that is holy, that...
I don't know what you want to answer, but we had a long rest.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to find out.
We have already said that.
I've got all my
Yeah.
spells and everything, so yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright.
So, I guess we'll keep going towards it. I mean,
Okay. As you get closer, you become confident in your guess, Jacob. This is indeed a ship. A bit different from the ones that you're used to encountering on the prime material plane. I mean, it's the same kind of structure, but this one is very slender. The boards and everything of it appear very narrow. It seems to have a very light look. And the wood itself is light, almost a white in color. It has a single mast, and probably, you would guess, doesn't usually carry more than 12 to 20 people. The sails are a very brilliant bright green, and they look almost as though they are made of leaves. And you notice as you get closer that it is stuck inside the glass and kind of like cantered on its side in an odd way. How it's been suspended in the glass has kind of come up around it to support it.
to support it, or is it held in place?
It's held in place. Like where is instead of being like this, the glass has kind of got it cocked to the side a little bit, almost like it was stuck on rocks, but it's glass there instead, holding it.
So it doesn't look like it's there happily, maybe.
Yes.
Like it chose to be there.
Yes, almost like it got stuck in the glass or kind of like ran up on it somehow and kind of got wedged.
Do we see any
Okay.
signs of people or life or
Roll a,
animals or anything?
roll a perception check for me. So you hear at first, you're like them being very familiar with wildlife and that sort of thing. You begin to kind of like veer around a little bit, obviously not too close to boats, so that you can get a better angle. And you see up along the side, there's actually this massive green four-legged creature that is standing beside the boat, and it appears to have some kind of like wagon or cart tied to it, like with a harness.
Does it look like any kind of animal I recognize? Or
If you had to guess, you would put it akin to like a wolf or a fox of some sort.
but it's bright green?
It's bright green, and its fur looks almost, I mean, you can tell that it's furry from this distance, but it's got a long tail, and it has like, the cart has like a harness over its middle, and it's held to its back, so, or behind it.
Does it look, I know you said it's like a wolf or a fox. Does it look as if it's dangerous?
It doesn't.
Like, do it have teeth, fangs, etc.?
So from this distance, you can't really tell. You'd have to get closer, but it doesn't appear, its body language is very calm. It doesn't appear agitated in any way. It's just hanging out.
And so it doesn't sense us.
If it does, it's not alarmed by your presence.
I kind of bring it up and tell everybody at the group that there is some kind of carted wolfy foxy thing that's green along the side of the ship.
Like painted, or
No, it's definitely furred, but it is bright green.
maybe they painted the fur.
No, I don't think it's paint.
Could be like dyes.
About how far, I mean, time-wise, does it look like it would take us to reach wherever we're going?
The ship or the island?
Well,
Probably the ship.
The ship
first,
you should,
yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to reach it in like 30 minutes. It's not far.
Okay.
They're not trying to make this that complicated, guys. We don't need to either. Let's go check out the point of interest that they've thrown right in front of us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should at least, but we should approach carefully, because right now that creature seems pretty calm, but I don't know if we catch it off guards or it doesn't like us anyway. I mean, we just want to be careful.
Okay. So you guys keep heading closer. And as you do get, closer to the animal, it does kind of look over at you. It is clearly aware of your presence, but it is, again, not alarmed. It is just kind of hanging out. You're able to confirm that it does have like a cart tied to its back. The cart appears to have a number of crates and stuff that are kind of piled inside. And you notice that with where it is positioned on the ship, it's next to the side, and it's kind of the side that's been kiltered up. And there's actually a rope ladder hanging down from the ship, almost to the top of the glass, next to where the cart is.
So I wonder if that's his boat.
He's a ostentatious
Not
man.
her first.
It's not a man. It's a wolf fox creature.
Have you ever seen his boat, Rafferty? Have you been on his ship?
You're gonna have to pose that one to Casta to let me know if I've ever been shown his ship before.
Just what you've seen in dreams, but not
Are you willing to admit to that?
what?
Never mind. There's anything you can do. Go on.
I've seen it in dreams only, and I can't tell if it's a true representation, since he'd be able to control what I could see or not see.
I meant I let me clarify. I was asking, did I think it was the wolf creature's ship? Because it's bright green. Is the green of the sail the same color as the green of the creature?
They're not identical, but they're both very bright greens.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell.
Like spring court kind of, or like summer court kind of green, not
Well, in your time in the autumn and winter courts, you have encountered a lot of browns and oranges and reds and whites. You
Yeah,
haven't
see,
seen-
this is not characteristic of this place, I think.
Be funny if they tried to invade and.
Got caught in the glass.
Yep.
As
Well,
you get closer, you do see that this animal, which is clearly a pack animal of some sort, has very grassy and mossy fur, and it appears like a well-trained farm animal of some sort. You know, it's not overly alarmed by your approach. You know, it's just kind of hanging out, ready to bear its burden.
okay, so
We
this
should check out what's
creature-
on that cart. What's on the ship?
There might be a person on the ship. That animal is waiting there for somebody. So there's
Right.
somebody on that ship.
They might be stranded too.
They might
Maybe
be.
we could free the ship and take it.
I don't think that ship's going much of anywhere.
How far are you guys from the ship?
About 20 football fields.
No, she said we were within a half-hour walk,
Well, I think
And
you guys
then-
got, yeah. closer.
but now
we
we're
went
kind of
closer,
there.
so
Do you want us to just go ahead and roll initiative, or
10 or 15 minutes. Dottie's gonna motion to Jackie and kind of motion him to bend down so she can whisper to him. And she's just gonna tell Jackie, look, at the first sign that we might be captured, I'm gonna cast a spell on you. I'm gonna try to. That would let you get out of any bonds. So maybe get out and get us free. So
We will see what we can do.
yeah. So just stay close. If we looks like we might be, make sure I can see you.
if these really are from the spring court, I propose that we not make our intentions to parlay with the admiral known.
Sorry, make sure I can touch you.
Maybe play our cards close to the vest. They don't need to know
I mean,
why we're here.
I think that's a good idea anyway, no matter who we encounter right now, considering our location and our actual goal. So that seems wise to me.
So
So we're going to
going
approach
forward?
the ship,
Okay.
not alarmingly fast, just kind of like, oh, checking it out, strolling by, we're checking to see if anybody needs any help.
We're in the neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
So as you start approaching, you can see Aerolith, the large green mammal, kind of lift its nose to the air and start sniffing. And after a moment, it glances around and then sets its eyes on the party as you approach. He just kind of stares unblinkingly at you all, but doesn't seem to move or do anything aggressive. As you continue forward, there's a soft bark of sorts from the creature, and you can see a figure moving along the top of someone's clearly on the ship.
Humanoid?
You see a shadow of a humanoid kind of flit across the surface there.
I think we should just call out. I mean, it knows.
I shout, ahoy!
I get fireball. fireball. I can fireball him.
No, Leo.
No,
Fuck.
Leo.
We mean no harm.
So again,
I did.
now that you all are continuing closer, a couple minutes pass and you kind of see the figure again, but instead of the quick movement across the deck that you saw before, you can see him standing at the back of the ship with a longbow in hand. Just kind of, the bow isn't knocked. He's just kind of sitting there, or standing there with the bow held at his side.
Can
Kaganos, is that you?
he
Is he naked?
No, actually, he's wearing leather. Much like the cell, he has light green
Could still be Kaganos.
and wavy green hair that hangs almost like vines down to his shoulders. There are a few twigs and flowers sticking out from behind his ears. His leather armor is embossed with very like leaf-like patterns, and he has a very clean, uniform-like military look. And he's got a cloak of leaves draping down his back, and as Cog said, he has his bow cautiously ready, but not aimed at you in any way.
It's kind of
flowers, twigs, and such. There, what are they? Summer flowers or autumn flowers?
How much do you know about the corpse?
How close are you?
Well, I mean, we're at the ship now, right?
Yeah.
she's Spearlith. She's here, there, and everywhere.
So-
Also,
No.
this guy.
Styling his hair.
He's clearly Eldrin. All of the autumn Eldrin that you've encountered have been orange.
Yeah. I'm going to whisper this fact that I noticed to everybody.
It's very handy to color coded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's been a thing that we've encountered several times now. That, specifically, everything seems to go with the court that it's in.
Rafferty speaks Sylvan.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you call out a greeting in Sylvan? I mean, yeah, maybe they're Spring Court, but this isn't the place, and maybe they're not hostile. I mean, just because we're Autumn Court doesn't mean we're hostile.
Are you all talking as you walk, or have you stopped?
We definitely stopped.
How badly do you want to kill us?
So from the top of the deck,
Ask him
you
permission to
hear
come aboard.
a very young voice call out across the glass surface. It's rude to whisper amongst yourselves when someone's watching.
So I'm going to call out loudly in Sylvan, "How it is, my man," and make a hand gesture in Sylvan, generally associated with leaves.
Did you just drop a west side? Is that what's going on?
It was more of an east side because,
okay.
based on the map of the
Fair
of the
enough.
courts, yeah, but definitely did.
You can kind of see at the distance his head tilt to the side a little bit at the exchange. And the figure kind of steps back and around to head down the rope ladder.
Well, we've gotten him out of his defensive position, guys. Success.
It sucked in it. So
Well, because I had to do something with my tea.
So he comes down and then he walks over and rubs the creature under the chin as he waits for you all to close the distance.
We can pick up our pace a little. No need to keep him waiting.
So as you all close the distance, is anyone doing anything particular as you go in, or are you fine?
No. I know.
Bobby's just staying close
when
to
he
Jackie.
when he called out, he was speaking common or
He's
what?
speaking common.
Okay.
So as you walk up, you can see him very casually inspecting each of your party, just kind of petting this large creature, which you can see comes up to about his shoulder at the head. So it's a very large dog. Once you're all within, reasonable conversation distance, he speaks up again. Again, in his voice, though he looks very adult. His voice is incredibly youthful.
Define looks incredibly adult.
Well, I don't want to confuse the idea of him being
Okay.
perceived as a child.
A child.
Just to be clear on what adult we're talking about.
Yeah. So you
Not adult themed,
You
just
would-
adult.
You would serve him a drink.
wouldn't card him. You
So-
are all the most confused looking group I've seen in a very long time.
Boy, you can say that again.
Well, how much of that time have you spent marooned on a glass sea?
Well, really, this is me coming back to my ship. I had a little bit of trouble. I thought you were the trouble returning.
What kind of trouble?
The locals. They're not real fond of folks cruising along in their seas.
Is the sea always like this?
Like what?
Goes around to the diamond, to the glass surface.
He looks down and he clicks a leather heel against it. No, this is absolutely new.
How long's it been this way?
Is everyone okay?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard a bunch of background noise. I didn't know what it was.
How long's it been this way?
Several weeks, give or take.
Do you know what happened?
Did it happen suddenly or did it like slowly?
Oh, I was. He kind of looks at you and does a. It's clear he's undergoing an estimation of you all before he continues, but he kind of shrugs it off. I was sailing in and saw some of the glass on the horizon, so I decided to try to avoid it, but it eventually caught up to me.
Oh, avoid it. That would have been a really good idea, guys.
Were you headed north
Yeah.
or south?
Well, I was headed west originally, but in all of my time trying to avoid the glass, I definitely didn't end up where I thought I was.
You're flying strange colors to have been heading west.
Depends on west from where you're talking. Kind of jerks a finger over behind him. That there's ours.
What did he point to?
What the island behind him?
We're not real familiar with this area, so
Oh,
we were
aren't
trying
you?
to travel through, and yeah, no, we're not. And
I mean-
so I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I'm not from here.
Yeah, just
You can
just to
look at me
clear
and
my
tell that.
confusion. Just to clear my confusion, I was told that we could tell based on the way the sun was hitting the glass which court we were in, because like the summer and spring court, it was like blinding, and the autumn and winter court sides were much easier on the eyes. So is the island he's pointing to in the spring court or summer court direction?
So,
So are you saying that out loud?
I
Or
think
you
No, I'm
listening to
asking.
thought process?
I'm asking the dungeon
Okay.
master.
Okay.
So that
So
yeah.
the island that he's pointing to, as far as you can tell, is in the middle of these severance. Where you are right now, it's still dusky. Well, not dusky. It's definitely like afternoony. The sun doesn't appear to have changed much at the moment, and you're still far enough from the island that you can't make out a lot of details about what might be there or what kind of environment it might be. But he is very clearly indicating that is part of their court and whoever his court is.
So how exactly would you say you ended up walking across a sea of glass?
Well, we did have a boat, but then we crashed into the to the Sea of Glass.
I suppose I can't make any judgments about that, given where I am right now.
Yeah, we have a lot in common.
But we saw land in the distance, and we just started heading towards it, hoping to get off of this.
Because who knows what this is or when it's going to just disappear again.
I shall be right back.
Yep.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Well, it seems fairly sturdy for now.
Yes, I thought so as well, but still, I've learned not to trust anything for what it seems like in this place.
Creature of experience. So, where did you say you were sailing from?
We were sailing from the south and headed north.
Interesting. All right. So, given that I had a bit of trouble here not too long ago, I'd be happy to offer you some shelter back at the island if you would agree to escort me back.
How trustworthy do I feel this guy is? AKA insight check.
I want to insight check
Roll
that
Insight
too.
insight check.
Oh,
You're
he
the
seems
trusted.
totally trustworthy.
Listen,
Oh,
So it is so refreshing after all of this time in the Feywild to finally find somebody who's being incredibly straightforward with you. You know? Sometimes he's been a little evasive, but you've been able to read it. You have no doubt that he is not hiding a damn thing.
His demeanor
100.
is generally carefree and positive. He seems to be very bright-eyed and aware of himself, but there's no shadow to what he's been talking about.
So is there others on the island? Like, is there an inn or a tavern or someplace we can get, a room and a meal and?
I can do the meal. I'm afraid there aren't too many people around anymore, but there are the barracks. You're happy.
Barracks.
You're welcome.
Are you a soldier?
Isn't everyone?
No. I'm a priest. Cleric.
And he kind of looks you over in your plate mail with your battle axe and shield.
I'll totally pull out my holy symbol. See? I'm a freaking cleric.
We're adventurers, we're adventurers. We travel around and seek adventure. So obviously she needs some protection. But we're not soldiers, any of us.
Well, it's an interesting concept. Well, like I said, though I am a soldier,
I'm really good at getting
a single soldier, and I'd rather not get into trouble with the creatures I've been talking to previously.
Who were you talking to?
So, there are these creatures called Sahagin. They're scaly, not very friendly, kind of aggressive.
Are they like the things that I kind of give a little description of the things that we were attacked by, or is that them?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, we had a little run-in with them as well.
Well, it's fairly standard in these parts.
There's definitely safety in numbers.
Their behavior's been a bit odd since, well, this. And he kind of gestures at the glass beneath them.
See, I really want to ask what his rank is since he's a soldier, but I'm not going to.
So, you'll forgive me for being a little mistrustful. I'm sorry, but this place is kind of tough, as my friend said. But do you assure us, to the best of your ability, to safe passage on your island?
Kind of squints an eye at Davi and cocks his head. You trying to get an oath out of me?
I just don't want to walk into a trap on your island and end up prisoners because we were seeking shelter.
I mean, if I really wanted to do anything to you, I would have let Quan here have a piece of you all. But I haven't. And my people have a thing that may be a little strange to planeswalkers, but it's called honor. I offered you a place to stay and food. If you don't
Doggy's
want it,
gonna size
That's
him up.
very hospitable.
I'm gonna insight check that.
Good, Dobby.
Does he actually seem honorable?
Earless
Hit him
is
with
just
3.
gonna be nodding. She's just gonna be like, "Oh yeah." I mean, and
So,
just kind of looking at Dobby like,
Dobby.
"She's not speaking for everybody. We really trust you."
You have traveled far and wide. You've met a variety
Sorry
of
about
people from a vast variety of cultures. If there's one thing you're sure about this guy, it's what you see is what you get. You were pretty confident that he is, well, you've noticed that he's chosen his words carefully at times. He doesn't appear to have been deceptive in any way. Maybe not entirely trusting of you guys, maybe a little guarded, but he seems very genuine in his, listen, you buy that he's almost insulted that you would imply that he told you he would offer you safe passage, and now you're questioning that? He's like, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, seem alright.
of course I'm alright.
So, we'll travel together.
I'd appreciate it. Quan is not as good a companion when he's burdened this way, and you can see the large wolf kind of huff at him in reply, and kind of fans his hands out and just takes a step away just in case.
Does he look like he's categorized as a beast?
Roll me. Do you want to roll a nature or Arcana?
Considering I want to polymorph into him at some point, Arcana.
Sure. Roll Arcana.
Feeling this.
He's definitely not a beast. You can't quite place what he is. He looks like that amalgamation of large wolf and fox with
Leo
eyes that
immediately
are
thinks
very
there's-
intelligent.
Well, is there anything you need off your ship before we head out?
I think I've got a couple of things left to pull off, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're prepping a set of a shipment of armor and weapons here. And he kind
How
of
can we?
he sets his bow down on the ground beside the large creature and heads over to the rope ladder. Kind of climbs up as he gives his explanation. Any of you following?
Is there anything we can do to help you?
Do you have arms?
Yeah.
Well, I got
I'm
plenty
better
for you
than
to
that.
do.
Alright, Davi will follow.
Okay.
I wanna know what Leo has.
Earless is gonna go where Dobby goes.
I want
I'll
to
go
know what
with
Leo has that's better than ours.
Hmm?
I want to know what Leo has that's better than ours.
So he then takes you into the hold of the ship, and there is an impressive amount of very finely crafted swords and spears, tower shields, armor of every make, and he's kind of sorting through the pieces and passing them off to have folks take it
Leo.
back with the cart.
Leo claps his hands together, rubs them together, and puts down the portable hole and ta-da!
So the the Eldrin pauses for a moment and looks down at the portable hole
With
and
all the
looks at
hats.
Leo. Yes.
You put it in there. We can carry it with us. Nobody's carrying anything. You just throw it in. Come on.
He kind of
10 minutes in now.
eyes you suspiciously. What is it?
It's
It's a hole you carry with you. You put things in the hole. The hole comes up. We carry it. I put a hole down. It's back in there.
I would suggest you wrap any weapons before you throw them in there, though.
Huh.
Why?
I don't know.
So-
They're not going to poke a hole in the hole. It's a hole. There can't be a hole in the hole.
So he,
Can I identify anything in this that's clearly his?
though, you definitely see armor that looks exactly like the armor he's wearing.
I'm thinking more trinkety.
Sorry.
More trinkety?
Yeah, more trinkety.
Fits in a small bag, maybe?
There doesn't seem to be anything that's personal on that ship.
This is a military man, guys.
Yeah, we already know. He told us he was a soldier. I mean, he was very upfront about it.
Says that,
And it seemed confused that we were just... seems like he's very confused that we're just an adventuring party and not soldiers ourselves.
So he takes one of the a helm made of leather and kind of tosses it in, and then walks to the edge and peers inside. Kind of, interesting.
I pick it up, like fold it up, and put it back down again, and goes ta-da, and then prestidigitate like flares.
He kind of like steps back away at the flares and like, oh, okay, you're one of those. All right, fine.
All right, did my part. Davi, put everything in.
Davi will help him if he's willing. Davi will help him.
So
Leo supervises.
the Eladrin is quite industrious and helps along with Davi, and is making casual conversation at the time. So what brings you way out to the Feywild? You're clearly not from here. And he kind of looks over her. Prime material, I guess?
Yeah, I'm from the Prime Material. I'm a dwarf. But my friend over here had some business to the north, so we were just accompanying him.
To the north?
Yeah.
It's not much to the north.
I couldn't tell you. I've never been there. I just generally help travelers. It's part of what I do.
Huh. Well, and color me fortunate.
Yeah, no. We just... You asked why we were in the Feywild, but we just kind of got stuck here.
Yeah, we got landed in the Feywild by not a very nice lady, but she's not around anymore, so...
What is your name, friend?
That's a good question, Jackie. I'm Davi, by the way.
I suppose I should have introduced myself, but... guess I was caught up in...
I'm James.
You
pulled off a skin
did
suit.
your pet, in fairness. So
he kind of waves at Irilith and Davi. Between the scales and the feathers, I suppose I got distracted. Jorlius is what people call him.
Jorlius?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm Elsa Jean. I can't decide what name I'm supposed to give anymore.
I'm going to need you to roll a deception check, please.
And that's how you convinced him not to trust us. Not by anything I did, but by you.
I mean, that's the name I've been given. What is my deception anyway? There it is.
It is your official Feywild name.
It is her name here.
It's a 12.
Your deception is bad.
Yeah, my deception's pretty bad.
He kind of stares at Irilith for a while. You know that whole true name in the Feywild thing doesn't work if you're not Fey.
I don't know. It's just the name I've been given, and I don't know.
Who gave you that name?
And I'm gonna point to Leo.
Prestidigitate more sparks.
He's a little strange, you know.
I suppose if you're going to adventure in a group as interesting as this, you have to be. So he named you Elsa Jean. So now you introduce yourself as Elsa. What's your real name?
She goes by Els.
That's what you call me? I mean, the name I was given, I suppose. I mean, I've been given a lot of names, but Earless will work.
You are all an incredibly
strange.
Who hurt you all?
Have you ever heard of this
Point of
woman
Rafferty.
named Breeza?
Can't say I have. No.
She's not very nice. So
Was she dead?
she's
we
a
find her
statue.
She
somewhere?
is now a statue.
Oh, yeah, that's
She's
right.
been turned to stone
That's right.
by the very much Narnia White Witch kind of Autumn Queen that we
Okay,
got
well-
going on.
Well, good news. You never got to run into her.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
So,
She's a statue now, so you know.
does anyone
Not
else here
our
have
doing.
pretend
We
names
didn't
that
have
they'd like
anything
to
to do with
share with
that.
me?
We didn't have anything to do with turning the unnice woman Breeza into a statue. We just know that
No.
she is a statue now.
She made her own bed.
I'm just gonna like babble everything forward like that, like.
So he kind of reels a little bit as he's taking all this in. So I didn't suspect that you all didn't turn her into a statue until you just said you didn't turn her into a statue. So then,
I mean,
Well, you know.
in all fairness, if we could have turned it into a statue, we would have turned it into a statue.
You
It
know
was just
what?
a little beyond us
I
at
mean-
the moment where we encountered her.
I just might have. She was
I
not a
just-
very nice lady.
I just didn't want it to seem like we might be running around turning people into statues. I mean, you
Again,
never
we
know.
would if we
But you don't
could.
know.
you all are a lot.
We are. I know. I'm sorry. But, you know, if you can get past that, we're really a pretty good group.
So you seem to
I mean, most of
have some sense of whatever it is. I have no idea how I can describe you all. But who?
No.
Who?
Charming?
So if you
Eccentric.
didn't turn whoever this was that I don't know into a statue, who did you interact with that did turn her into a statue?
Well, it
We
wasn't
really have
Mario
no
Rabbit.
idea.
I mean,
We don't really know
No.
who turned it. We just saw the statue of her,
yeah.
so we have no
in
idea who actually
in fact, it
did
may
it.
not even be her. It could just have been a statue of her. Coming to think of it,
No. Well,
It's-
I mean, I think it was her. I think.
I mean,
I
it
didn't
was
ask
so good.
around. She could still be around somewhere when somebody just built a statue of her.
So why
don't
do
know
you
why they
need all
would
this
have.
armor?
It is a fascinating wonder that you all have survived this long in the Feywild.
We have some
Truly is.
capability.
Well, I mean, you know, we've met some nice people.
Based on your adopted names and your statue people, I'm not sure I believe you, but that's fine.
No, I mean, we really have. I mean, we haven't only been in those places. We've been all over now.
Dobby will
So-
legitimately chuckle at that. So why do you need all this armor? I mean, why what are you? What is all
We're
this
gonna be working while we're doing this. We're gonna be like,
Yeah.
You're
into the portable
actively
hole.
pushing things into the hole.
No,
Yeah.
Well,
Lears
we were-
provides the hole,
We were
not pushing.
rather low on stock, so we needed to make sure the forges were running to get us what we needed.
So you're preparing for war.
I mean, isn't everyone?
I mean, not us.
No, not us. But I mean, I know that the autumn court and the spring court are having like this big conflict thing, and are you in the middle of that?
The
He
Autumn
asks
Court?
his wife for permission.
And who?
The
Well,
spring court, I think. I don't know.
Summer court.
Yeah, summer court. I don't know. Look, I'm not from here. I
Kinda-
told you that.
Assesses the group for a long moment. The Sealy Court and the Unsealy Court are always at each other's necks. Things are just a bit more serious nowadays.
Why?
I mean, I guess you haven't been over there, but the Unseelie Court's not doing well.
Oh no.
I'm gonna need to roll a deception check.
Please crit this roll.
I'll let you
Please
have
crit
it.
this roll. I want him
That
to
was
crit this
pretty
roll.
good, though.
Yeah, he got a 17.
He didn't.
That's good.
17. It's much better than my deception check from earlier.
His class stat is charisma.
Yeah.
Yours is dex. Gee, I wonder why he's so much better at that than you.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, you are stationed then at this island. It's a permanent presence.
Yes.
An odd place for a military installation. Are you set in watch over someone, or to protect against someone?
It's there are a couple of interesting characters in the area who don't tend to play by the rules. So
It's one of those rules: not turn the water into a big mirror.
Oh no!
that's a situation that will likely turn into a new rule once we figure that out.
Yeah. So I would imagine one of those characters is the Admiral, because we heard he was up around this area.
I gave her so much side eye, both in real life and in character.
I'm like,
Davi's gonna
I mean,
say it.
The reality
Oh,
is,
no.
the Admirals. I've definitely heard of him. The Admiral's probably dangerous to anyone that knows him.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Seems
So-
legit.
So
I'm like shaking my boots, and water continues to pour out of them.
how have you all heard of the Admiral? He tends to not be discussed much on my side of the water.
Oh, we're boat people.
He's just a. I don't know. I mean, we heard he was up in this area, and let me be honest with you. I want to avoid anybody that. I don't never want another Breeza situation, and Davi is 100% truthful in that. So, I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
This whole place is just. Have there ever been any times when the Seelie and the Unseelie court actually got along?
In history?
Sure.
I suppose I can't say that I'm an expert on the history of things, but I imagine there's no one alive now that remembers any of that. But I suppose it could have been possible. It seems unlikely.
So there's been, like, in our travels along here, we've seen some really strange things. And,
Who travels in the Feywild?
yeah. And, you know, personally, I just want to go home. I want to get back to the prime material plane. But there's... We've seen some weird... Look, I'm just going to ask you. Have you seen orcs or demons?
His brows are gonna shoot right up.
Yeah, I know it's
Yep.
a weird question.
So
while we're standing here, while Davi and him are talking, when she brings up orcs and demons,
It
I wanna
makes
just kinda-
Jacobus' stomach growl.
I want to kind of drop back and stand still for a minute and do my thing where I
poop.
my favorite enemy and see if I can.
She's going to do
I
the
could-
thing that's clearly better than anything paladins can do.
Remind me
Complete
again how far that reaches.
It's
Yep,
like
A mile.
I'm gonna.
5. It's like 5 miles.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
That's
big-
like 100 football fields.
Um.
So-
What is that called? Hold on. It is.
So-
Where is it?
So while you guys work that out,
Here it
Jorlis
is.
kind of eyes Dobby. So I see you've spent some time in the Unseelie Court then.
Well, I mean, yeah, we came through there, so
I haven't seen anything like that myself, but you're saying the rumors are true.
yeah.
Yurlith, you do not sense anything around you.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it's within 5 miles. By the way, I finally found it. And okay, so nothing within 5 miles of us.
Nope.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go back to working as if, you know.
So you start to finish up with all of the crates, and if you'd been paying attention, there's enough weapons and armor in here for quite a large group of soldiers.
I'm 100% sure that Jackie was paying attention to that.
Yep. How bad is it over there?
I mean, I think it probably depends on where you're at. I couldn't speak to the whole place. I don't have any clue, but I mean, look, I could care less about your Seelie and Unseelie stuff here. I really could. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean that rude at all. I know that's your world, but this demon and orc thing is bad, and it needs to be stopped.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you entirely. It's why I said things are more serious now.
But I think that the Unseelie Court blames the Seelie Court, and from what we've heard.
And he laughs at that, and he looks for a way to pick up the hole, and he does not seem to be able to figure out how you actually move the hole.
Yeah,
So
you're not going to be able to move that. Leo has to do it, but
he looks over at Leo and you there. Would you mind picking this up? Is it heavy?
Oh, it's very heavy, and he just down and picks it up and rolls it up and puts it in his pack.
Is your posting? Do you think your posting is in trouble due to the glass that's on the water now? Like, is this going to cause issue for your posting on that island?
It's going to make resupply much more challenging, especially given that I am the resupply person. But we'll have to figure that out when we get there.
have you or your people looked at all into why this has happened? Of course, you said you've been traveling, so I don't know if you have any way of communicating via long distance or not, but
I truth be told, don't know anything about that. I serve my court, but I wouldn't say I'm privy to all the details of the court. From everything that's been said, though, it's interesting to me that the Unseelie Court would claim that we are somehow at fault for the corruption of their own lands.
and I want to be upfront. I don't think you are, and we've said as much to some of the people we've run across, but part of our reason for not returning home quite yet is because we've heard that the prime material plane is suffering a similar fate, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Interesting.
We want to figure out why and to stop this. And, at this point, I don't care who's helping us with it, whether it be Seelie or Unseelie or any of you, but this political battle that's going on here is none of my business. And as I said, I'm sorry, but I could care less about it mostly. But we need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to figure out why this is going on and try to put an end to it.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that's the entire reason the Seelie Court is mobilizing. If the Unseelie Court is to blame, we'll ensure that we put a stop to it.
What if they're not to blame?
Regardless, it seems like they can't handle their own business, so we will handle it for them.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to help. But
And as you're all talking, you kind of move outside, and once you get to the large wolf, Julius pauses for a moment. I suppose there's no sense in making Quan carry all of that back. Is it alright staying in that hole until we get back to the fort?
Oh yeah. He's not going anywhere.
fine.
Alright.
It goes with us.
You see a little wag of a tail and interestingly, an expression of relief on the large wolf's face. So with that, he kind of pats Quan on the shoulder and starts walking off towards the island as you continue talking. What were you saying, Davi?
I mean, I just think that having a fight between the Seelie and the Unseelie court is going to further the goals of whatever entity is bringing these demons about and the orcs. I don't think it's going to help. I think this is going to weaken both sides, and you're going to both end up in trouble. Because let me tell you, these things are bad.
I suppose the issue is we have Corlon's lands suffering under whatever kind of administration the Unseelie courts like to claim they have.
Oh, here's the bullshit. Okay.
And I don't see how us not doing something about it could possibly help the situation.
I can tell you what won't help. Relitigating your timeless quarrel with the other courts.
I think turning your attention to the true source of whatever's creating this problem would make more sense. And I'm not saying expose yourselves to the Unseelie court. I don't
Have a dog in that fight.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I think that there needs to be a focus on figuring this out. And I can tell you right now, the ears we've talked to in the Seelie court didn't want to hear that news either. So I have very little hope that your people will listen either. But
Well, I appreciate your input, but ultimately, you are foreigners, and
we are.
whatever the Unseelie court told you is suspect at best.
No,
Perhaps we're objective, whereas neither side in this land can be objective.
from
I
what
was
we've
gonna-
seen of how the demons are arriving, I can assure you that we are very aware that those impacted were not responsible for what happened to them.
It's just interesting if this was an issue with the whole of the Feywild, that maybe the Seelie court would be experiencing it as well.
Wouldn't make
think
sense
it's a
to make
matter
it
of
an
time.
issue Why would you make it an issue for both of the courts to start? Your quarrel with the other side is so predictable that this was obvious to happen. So of course you only impact one side initially, but your time will come.
Let me ask you this. Are there places in the Sealy court where the veil between worlds is thin?
You spent a lot more time here than you initially let on.
No, I really
we've never
haven't.
been around.
But I have traveled a lot, and my people have traveled a lot. And gathering knowledge and learning and helping is what we do.
Give me a persuasion or deception.
Sure.
That would probably be persuasion.
He kind of nods with that. Yes. There are places where the veil is thin.
I would suggest checking those places because there could be problems you're not even aware of yet.
Because it took a while for these people to become aware of the problems.
I'll send a message. It's an interesting theory.
Our experience has been that places where it is thin has been worse.
So as you through your talk, it seems as if you had, despite the island seeming very far away, you found that travel in the Feywild can be odd. You actually are much closer and are now walking across the glass onto a beach. And the island is just very tropical. You can see
Wow.
Davi will heave a huge sigh of relief to be off of the water and onto solid land.
And it's warm, like you said, it's tropical.
It's significantly warmer than the autumn court was. Very lush, like ideal paradise, gigantic flower blooms, vines hanging,
Birds
fruits.
of paradise. They're mangoes and bananas and all kinds of things hanging off the trees nearby. Rafferty, you will have noticed that the sun seems to have shifted positions as you walked up onto the beach. Nothing sudden, but it was a very shifting as you arrived.
I kind of glare at it just a little bit.
Like it's a second tick with each step you take.
Let's get what aid we can here. I'm saying this to Jacobus telepathically as I scribble in my book. Let's get what aid we can, but let's not stay over long. This is not where we're meant to go.
So why the Admiral?
I agree.
What's that?
Why the Admiral? You're walking from south to north. You have a ship. So clearly you were intended for an island.
The Admiral is a cruel man, and he has done something very cruel to a member of our party. But we seek to assure their freedom from his actions.
It's true.
I mean, that's
Which one of
actually
you is
true.
under the yoke?
We are trying to ensure the safety of Yearlith.
I'm gonna.
Which one's Earlith?
Elsa Jean.
She introduced herself as Earlith too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave both names after I explained that Leo made me.
What was that?
That was the goat.
Screaming goat.
Screaming goat.
I thought it was your children.
It
I
could
did
have
too.
been.
I thought-
Cat again. I was like, what did you do to that poor cat? He's laying over there sleeping.
Do you see him? Those are his paws. This is a paw. Oh, you can't. Oh god, I scared him.
You disrupted him.
You are a
Why are you
Girl.
bullying the cat?
Oh, poor Geralt.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Kai, focus.
That's never happened.
So you are all on solid ground now, and you can actually smell the flowers and fruit. You can tell how ripe everything is. But he kind of nods and gestures up towards a mountain towards the center of the island. Fort's up top there. It's a little bit of a walk, but we should be there in a few minutes. I would keep your ears open. Like I said, the Sahagin are acting a bit.
Do they come onto the island?
They have recently.
Well, that seems weird.
It is very odd.
So, you've been very gracious, and you've been, I feel like, forthright. And will your people be as welcoming?
People?
I don't know
the
who's
people
up
on
in
the
this
island.
fort.
It's just me.
You're the only one here?
The only one left.
Why do you need all this armor for just you?
That's so sad.
Did you say that in character? Please say
Yes.
that in character.
Definitely.
We're a resupply point.
Oh, so people come here to get supplies.
Not anymore.
But
Getting here would be hard.
As your doomed compatriot has pointed out, yes, not anymore.
Well, got your job cut out for you for sure. Let's keep going.
I suppose it's not too terrible. So, let's see here.
Does anybody remember you're here?
Kabam.
Of course I remember I'm here. It's just they're busy elsewhere.
But what if nobody ever comes back? I mean, will you be able to go? And I mean, are you stuck here forever?
I mean, at some point, we'll win the war. Especially...
Dobby will just shake her head at that.
Or you won't. I mean, you maybe won't. Who knows?
Well, you said yourselves that the Unseelie Court's not in a great position.
I think that the problem, and what we've tried to tell you, is that it's going to be a problem for both courts.
Yeah.
That we don't think this is just that this is a limited edition disaster. We think it will be much bigger. We were encountering things in the prime material plane before we ever got here.
Dobby, up in the woods ahead, you hear, and it's a fairly good distance, but your senses are pretty sharp. As you're having a conversation, you hear a snapping twig out in the distance.
She'll hold up a hand. Oh, I heard something.
Jolius immediately freezes when he sees your hand come up.
She'll point to where she heard it.
Fireball.
I suppose they're out
Not-
and about again.
What? You said what?
I suppose they're out and about again.
Those what?
The
Those
Sahagin.
creatures.
The fish creature things?
Yes, Sahagin.
Okay, I can't remember that word because I don't understand what you're saying. So,
Sahadim.
anyway,
It's Wagan is the pronunciation.
But in not common. And also, it's probably my... I blame Spanish.
You trying to roll the R's on that?
Yeah, pretty much.
All the R's.
I don't even know how it's
Yeah,
spelled,
okay.
so I couldn't even say. So, okay.
Shall we set an ambush?
Oop, I inverted the U and the A, but yeah, whatever.
Okay. So I think did I which direction did it come from? It came from interior of the island, or
So, as you look around, you can't see Jorlian anywhere.
what about Quan?
Quan is at the rear of the group and is kind of sitting on his haunches, waiting. But his ears are definitely perked, and you can see him start to sniff at the air above.
Okay. Do I see any besides our own or evidence that somebody's been through this beach besides us?
Roll me an investigation, please. Actually,
Investigation or
Investigation or survival?
survival. Just survival. So
That's
the woods,
two.
the jungle is very thick, and you're not really familiar with this kind of foliage and dense undergrowth. I mean, you look up and it's actually kind of dark where you are because of the just incredible amounts of canopy above you. So you're not able to really discern anything from the landscape, but you make a note that you should probably learn a little bit more about the plants of the region to do better
Well,
in
I'm
the future.
here anyway. Yeah.
Davi will pull her axe out and her shield be ready. I suggest you guys hide or
Fireball.
prepare.
Is there anything that we can kind of hide behind or sort of take cover?
Yeah, there is an incredible amount of like trees and dense bamboo, like shoots of bamboo. There's if you crouched, you would be fairly well hidden.
I hide my
alright,
shoot
I
of
wanna-
bamboo.
Yeah, I wanna
Just one.
kind of take some cover.
All right, so
So Davi is gonna hold a spirit guardian spell for the first sign of hostile creatures.
you all crouch and hide where you are.
Oh yeah, I have an owl. I send my owl up and like look around.
So
I have that.
So you're, are you communicating with him, or are you just setting him up?
I mean, I'm communicating and just tell it to fly up and look around.
So you send him up, and
Tell me if he sees anything that looks hostile and would like to eat me.
So it takes him a while to actually get above the canopy of trees, just because it is so dense.
That's kind of lazy.
But once he gets up there, he can't. He reports back that he can't really see anything except leaves from as high as he is. The rest of you can actually hear the.
As punishment, I poof him out of existence.
You can hear the crunching of leaves and vines breaking as sounds like a group is pushing through. And let's do this. We're going to play the mind's eye game.
Thought we established you don't have one of those. Okay. I feel like it's a very small island. Nope, not stick. He's gone.
It's being punished. So, out into the area that you were in, you see a small group of Sahagin walk out into the midst of you all. There are 5 of them, kind of walking in a line, making these what sound like croaking sounds at each other. Clearly they're communicating with one another. And they all kind of pause when they see Quan sitting on his haunches, kind of panting quietly with his cart attached to his back.
How bunched up and within 120 feet did it look?
They're definitely within 120 feet. You don't know where your party members are in reference to where they are because you can't see any of your party members, but they are definitely bunched up. They are in a single file line.
Merkin says no risk it, no biscuit.
Quick
I mean-
question. I have just now brought down this map thing. Is there a dead body on the beach that we've just
No.
ignored?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's
I
Tab being random.
just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something.
Don't
like,
ever believe the stick figures. They're a lie.
Okay. Super
Before
sus.
we get into a combat situation,
Mm-hmm.
can we take a quick break?
Yeah, I
Yes.
need to.
We can.
All right.
My
Break
bladder would appreciate it.
Fireball, let's go.
No, we're gonna.
Everyone roll dexterity save.
Everybody has enough HP to survive it. It's fine.
All right.
All
break.
right, we'll be back.
Be right back.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
I don't like this battle map.
on a real Jello kick lately. Like, I'm all about it. Don't know why.
Okay.
It's weird. But anyway,
Yes.
so I got a bunch of different flavors. I got cherry limeade,
As long as it's pistachio.
watermelon, blue raspberry, strawberry starburst flavored.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm so into Jello as a snack option lately.
Okay.
Cherry limeade's pretty good.
No.
What are you laughing at, Felix?
Cherry's never good.
I'm definitely laughing at Tab. He's one of the funniest people on the planet, right?
Yeah.
He likes to think so.
I mean, I think so.
I think so too, but I try not to tell him.
You should.
You got enough ego without us feeding it.
I don't know about that. And Kai was in profile there. I thought I saw a little belly on. It's sad to see.
He is giving you a look right now.
Oh, I didn't know he was there.
Why'd you close your camera, Gag?
I can't do comebacks
No,
if we're muted. I said, do these fish people know Fireball now?
Oh, I said 5. I meant 15.
No, you said 10 actually. I have a problem. I feel like I've very much established a character trait of Leo just shooting everything he doesn't like.
Leo or Leo?
Leo.
That's like every group ever. It's
Yeah.
like-
Wow, I am just rolling like shit tonight, y'all. What the hell?
Law of averages. You rolled that many 20s in the past session, so.
Did I have 11 20s?
No, you have 4 1s and 4 20s according to these statistics. Which I don't know how accurate they are because it says a session and we don't have much damage, and we have definitely not.
Where do we find the statistics?
It's a little pie chart above the player names.
Where?
Do you know where the player names are?
Not really.
Bottom
Alright,
left.
good talk.
I'm
Bottom
back.
left.
Sorry.
You know what left is?
Yeah, the
Bottom.
wait,
You're looking at the top. Bottom. Bottom left.
yeah,
You're-
okay.
you're muted.
All right. I see it.
I'm here. Oh wow, are we just not having a combat map for this, or?
Nah. Here to the mic.
You're muted.
Honey, you're muted.
I said she's gonna hate that because it shows zeros for her.
I will say earlier, I was helping to find combat maps, and I pulled one, and God was like, we can't use that one, Tabs use that one.
I've had this can't be right because I have absolutely killed creatures.
We've only had like 2 combats introduced this
Well,
one, and the add-ons were broken. Half of one.
I used up my crit. Sorry, guys.
Yep. That's over.
You get to go first.
Alright.
Fireball.
So, 5 of these creatures stream out into the path you'd all been forging through the woods here. Rafferty, you all have a surprise round.
I need some confirmation here, because earlier you said there were 10 of them. Is there 5 that run towards it, or 5 standing back, or are there just 5 now?
There's just 5. They're
Okay.
Period 5.
Are they in like they look like the formation they're in right there?
So when you said there were 10 in the line, there was actually 5 in the line.
I definitely said 5.
Okay, so there are 5.
We're gonna check the tape on that, but sure.
The other 5 were shadows.
So pretty sure I said 5.
There are 5.
So
Five.
since
They're
Davi was holding, okay, sorry.
naked.
Is this the actual battle map we're going with?
We are not doing battle map. They're minded creatures, so we're doing theater of the mind.
Okay.
Since Davi said she was holding, or since I was holding a spirit guardians for as soon as any hostiles came into sight, does that mean?
No, you still have your turn.
But I
think
have
she's asking if
spirit
you
guardians,
go and
right?
cast it.
Yes, but we have a surprise round, so you could have cast it regardless of holding it.
But does she still has a surprise round because
Yes.
you cast it as a
Right.
Does she
reaction?
have an additional surprise action?
Oh, it would count as her surprise action.
Okay.
Because she prepared it before they ever came in.
If she cast it before they ever came on there, that's a different.
She said she was holding it as if we were traveling in.
Correct, but if they're coming into view, when they get into view, that's when you guys all act, so she doesn't have time to let it go and then do a whole
That's
new
what,
action.
yeah, that's what I think we were trying to figure out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
We're gonna check the tape on that one too.
Oh my god. Just trust the DM for crying out loud.
So, Rafferty, you are well hidden. These creatures don't know. I haven't seen to. They've only locked their eyes on Quan. And
Since we're having a battle map would help.
they are all within 120 feet or whatever ridiculous range your shit has.
What form are they in?
I think Cog's point
Like,
is you're gonna
what
one-shot
form?
all of them, so he doesn't want to do a whole map. So
Like, are they lined up? Are they in a clump? Are they, I need to know that too.
They are lined up.
You can definitely do your lightning breath.
yes,
So the point of Theater of the Mind is things can be more flexible, not less flexible.
I don't like it.
All right. Yeah.
They're clumped together. They're in a line.
It can't be both.
I touch Felix and I cast Greater Invisibility on him.
You have no idea where Felix is. Also, Felix doesn't exist as a thing in this game.
Yes.
Finger guns it is!
Cast invisibility of Felix, and Felix has to turn off his camera.
He's right there.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well,
If he gets invisible.
that definitely missed. Let's
Let me roll
try
that
the
shit.
second ray. Hey, I crit the.
His finger falls off.
That's like the 4th one.
He accidentally stabbed himself in the eyeball with his own finger.
Oh my god. Did that hit?
No.
The finger in his eyeball goes off.
So, all of a sudden,
That did hit. Oh my god.
no, it didn't. He didn't have anything targeted.
Oh.
It just showed the check mark because he didn't. So, Rafferty springs into action and fires off 2 Eldritch Blasts, and they whiz off past the creatures and seem to get tangled in the vines and leaves there. But he quickly moves to a fairly secure position behind some of the vines nearby. Did you want to increase distance between them? Would you like to close with them? Would you like to do anything with your movement? Or your bonus action?
I am gonna drop prone in the underbush.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
That'd be a great adult novel. Prone in the underbush.
Okay, thanks.
Hey!
So, in a flash, Rafferty dives out from the bushes, fires off his Eldritch Blast, and though they don't hit, he vanishes into the underbrush again. Davi, it's your turn.
All right. So Davi is going to cast, if I can find it. Where the heck? There it is, Spirit Guardians. Okay. Theater of the mind, but it's once a...
Yeah, well,
It won't
just
let
put
me
it on
click.
you. Yes.
I can't.
You have that gray thing you're clicking on. You really click next to it.
What is that? Ah! There. Okay. And her friends will be exempted from it. And the green wolf and the elf thing or whatever.
Yeah. So because you prepared it, it's cool. But normally you have to be able to see all of the people that you are going to exempt.
Right. Okay, get my character sheet back out. And then she's going to try to move. I can't see how they're clumped up or anything, but she's going to try to move towards the closest one, but not get in a line between Earlith and this little line of them so that maybe she doesn't mess up Earlith's
So
breath.
you suddenly see a flurry of activity as the entire underbrush bursts into action and movement with dozens of flying mugs whirling around. And Davi crashes out from the underbrush, attacking the middle of the line.
We have to stop saying underbush.
Underbrush.
And I don't think I can do anything else, right?
That spell was an action, so yeah.
All right, where is Davi?
So Davi's
See,
engaged on the side of the line.
I really find this difficult because so much of my stuff is targeted, and I don't want to hit her.
You
not gonna hit
literally
her.
won't. Let's work
Okay.
together and tell a story. Rule of cool. Let's do this.
Cool of rule.
Tell me what you
All right,
want to do.
as a bonus action.
As a bonus action, I would like to point out that I have higher initiative than Earlith.
Yes.
Oh, why? I thought I was up next. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna fireball.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
In my mind's eye, I picture a fireball flying past these, exploding right on the edge behind them, encompassing as many as possible without hitting the... Quan was the green wolf, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
Do not place a measured temple light.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Wait. Where'd it go away?
Look
With
at all
their
that
fire
damage.
saving throws.
Well, I rolled damage, and this is roll damage. It was a 29, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
29.
It was a
That's-
lot.
I can
There was a lot
re-roll
of
it,
fixes.
but I think you have to roll all the saves first. I can re-roll it if you want.
Yeah, reroll it.
Easier to apply.
Oh, it's not as good a roll either. You had a bunch of sixes.
Well, it was 29 before. It's 24 now. That doesn't really matter.
So this guy saves. This guy does not. This guy does not.
29 would have killed them, wouldn't they? I hate everything.
It depends. They all have different HP.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So, Davi, you as soon as you burst out of the the jungle and attack these, you can feel suddenly this incredible heat on your face as a spark flies out into the jungle and explodes. Chagabis, you are crouched behind a palm tree, and you can see the burst go out either side as you lie in wait there. The rear two of the group of creatures immediately fall to the ground, just crisp and basically charcoal at this point. And the remainder of the group are incredibly injured.
Damn, Leo. I don't get to have any fun.
Alright, you can handle it from here.
Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Alright. Irilith, now it's your turn.
Alright, there's only 3 of them left alive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a bonus action. I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns.
Lightning breath. This is your chance. Lightning breath.
Yeah, no, we're not on the water now, and and I don't even.
What?
I don't.
So you're gonna waste resources, aka spell slots.
They're in a row. Davi made sure
I
she
can
was
only
not
do
in
lightning breath
alarm.
once every rest.
This
So,
is
I mean,
But
and
you're
you've
literally never
never
going to use it
done
again.
Yeah, you've literally never used it. Just go ham on that shit. Breathe lightning.
Yeah. Swallow them.
Lord,
You
have
wanted to
mercy.
use it. You didn't have fun.
All right, fine.
I think you should
Okay.
use the spell.
Huh?
I think you should use the spell.
Do what you want to do, Leah.
There's going to be like 6 other these encounters, so you can just make
Yeah,
burn
I
all
mean-
our spell slots on this. Don't worry about it.
Let me look. So,
Save your spell slot to heal me later.
Okay, I'm gonna use lightning breath.
Do it. Can you target all of them for me so it's easier?
Yeah.
Hold shift and double
Yeah,
right
if you
click.
hold shift, double right click.
T, I guess.
Yeah.
T work?
Shift.
T works. T does work.
Okay. And I'm gonna lightning breath. Those, and they have to make a saving throw, which is determined by my draconic ancestry. Good luck knowing what kind of saving throw they're supposed to take.
If can't you just, isn't it like an ability you just use? Can you not like roll it?
I can try. Consume available usage, place measure template. No, I don't want to paste the measure template.
Is there a toggle for saying what you're clicking on?
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, good. It's a dexterity saving throw for you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Advantage. So what am I rolling? What's the DC?
Hold on. DC
It's
is 8 plus
8
my
plus your Constitution modifier plus
I missed
bone
that.
proficiency
proficiency
bonus.
bonus. My con modifier is 0, but my proficiency bonus is what? 3?
Yeah.
So 8 plus 3, 11.
11. Okay.
Okay, go away. They haven't noticed you.
Okay, Hanukkah.
Hi, sorry I missed her. I was trying to do math. So, Davi,
What?
you are now blinded for a moment
What?
as a streak of lightning carves through the line of creatures. You can smell the ozone as
She wants help.
Irilith
Something.
reaches deep into her ancestry and channels this primal ability to unleash lightning from from within. Earlith, you note this is actually quite a good feeling.
You're welcome.
You obliterate the remaining creatures, and
That's fun.
Dobby's just gonna grip her battle axe and she's gonna yell, "God damn it, Leo!"
You're welcome.
So the creatures actually seem to be crackling with energy for a bit as they lay on the ground. Jorlia steps out and kind of inspects them, comments, "So, I'm really glad I asked you to join me. You seem to be fairly good at this."
I have a lifetime experience of staying alive.
I kind of clear my throat and a few little electric sparkles come off and I'm like
Didn't know you all were capable of that sort of thing.
Well, you know, there's no sense bragging about it.
It doesn't.
I meant
It doesn't
them
come up very often.
and the doomed one.
It doesn't come up very often, and honestly, I think that's only the second time I've ever done that.
Well, I'm glad I got to see
Fearless
it.
looked very pleased with herself.
Anyway, let's we've caused quite a bit of noise. Let's get out of here before we attract any more attention than we have.
Indeed, let's hit the brush.
So, meanwhile, Quan has been sitting there, quite patient, wagging his tail as this has been going on, completely, just unbothered by all of the lightning and fire that's been tossed about.
Dobby's spell lasts for 10 minutes and she's totally leaving it up.
So there are these mugs that keep smashing through the underbrush, not underbush.
My
Every
version
little
of a
butterfly,
machete.
every bird that comes near, little lizards peeking out, they're all dead.
You hear screaming of a small lizard occasionally. But you finally make it up to a trail that leads you up to the mountain, and Julia estimated time fairly well. It only took 15-20 minutes or so. And as you approach, you can see what looks like to be these tall wooden statues standing on either side of the gate ahead. The fort is fairly well constructed. Not a fort. The fort he described is actually a giant tree on the top of the mountain. And standing at the bottom of the tree is a pair of statues just seeming to wait.
Do they look like Breeza?
What do the statues look like?
They don't look like Breeza. They actually, even though they've been described as statues, they appear to be made out of wood, carved out of wood rather than being stone. They had the look of plate mail, though. Very sentinel soldier-like and just very still.
Dobby's gonna inspect them. Do these animate?
So as you approach and Davi asks the question, one of them turns and looks at her and kind of scoffs. "Do I animate? Do you?"
Pretty good. What are you?
The two creatures now seem to snap into motion. That's an odd question for someone to ask in this land.
I'm not from this land.
And Joriath kind of shrugs it off. They're a bit stiff. I suppose that you don't encounter this very much in the Unseelie Court, do you?
I thought you were alone.
I am. I'm the only Eladrin here.
Oh, but there's other creatures here. And no, I mean, I can't say I've ever seen this in any place I've been. But this is pretty cool.
The other sentinel kind of glances over at his companion. Other creatures. I suppose we've been relegated to lower status than we were previously.
I mean, this guy doesn't even think you count.
We're all creatures.
Maybe you all are creatures.
People. I'm sorry, people.
I suppose that's an improvement. And,
I've never seen anything quite like you. It's pretty cool.
They're, Jorlia speaks up. They're a, where do I put it? Esteemed soldiers of the Sealy Court. They're warforged.
Has Davi heard of anything like this before?
Only if you've played in Eberron.
Go on and roll a Arcana check. No, history check. Excuse me.
That's better.
Did none of the fights they were in involve fire? It seems like it would counter it pretty well.
So, Davi, you recall stories, very old stories, like tall tales told around the brewing stations, if you will, about the old wars where the great blacksmiths would have stone automatons fight their wars for them. But it was all meant. The stories were all told as a kind of, what if or this would be cool kind of air. There was never a whole lot of seriousness to it.
I mean, I've heard like stories about people like you, but I have never actually seen one. I mean, I didn't know if they were real, so this is really cool. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
One of the Warforged scoffs again. Well, I assure you, I'm quite real. And
I can see that.
The other turns and places a hand against this massive yew tree, and this yew tree is easily half football field in width. When he places his hand, there's kind of a faint glow, and you see that glow kind of shoot up the tree, and he returns to kind of stand and wait beside you. Jonas folds his arms across his chest and waits.
What was that?
What was what?
You sent some energy up the tree.
We're waiting to get up into the fort.
Oh, how did we get up there?
Jonas kind of looks and glances up.
Davi will look up.
You can see that there's a branch and this wide leaf that's actually slowly descending down the side of the tree. It's clearly intentional. You can kind of see that it's lowering at a rate where some of you are standing. It's going to hit you if you don't move.
Davi will start ushering people back so it doesn't hit them.
Jorlius kind of stands by patiently, and he seems to be conversing quietly with the Warforged.
Davi will completely watch him, but unless he's speaking in common, she won't understand, even though she can lip read.
He is speaking Sylvan.
She doesn't understand it, but she's still going to watch.
But what you hear from the Warforged, just because you have your feet to listen in on things, the Warforged keeps looking over at Leo and seems highly displeased.
Is something wrong?
And one of the Warforged looks across. That one's wrong. And he's
What do you mean?
You can't just say that.
gestures over at Leo.
What's wrong with him?
I thought he was going to be gesturing at me. Nice!
What's wrong with him? He's an abomination.
How's he an
What do you mean he's an
abomination?
I have feelings.
And Julius kind of sighs. And, I mean, my friends aren't wrong. And the broadleaf finally lowers all the way to the ground, and Julius steps on, pats one of the Warforged on the shoulders. I assure you, I will make sure he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary beyond what he's already done, I suppose.
Good luck.
You mean exist?
Well, we can't.
If
help
you
that.
mean the whole mushroom thing he's got going on, look, we're trying to
Julius
fix
kinda
that.
pauses. Mushroom thing?
Well, I assume that's what you mean. I don't know.
What?
He's got
what-
some weird mushroom thing going
I have
on.
a condition.
Yeah, I've been casting on him and trying to keep him healthy, but we've got to take care of it and figure it out.
First things first.
Quan wanders onto the leaf. I somehow am not sure I want to know more about this mushroom thing.
I go stand on
Yeah.
the leaf and cross my arms.
I meant more that he's a waste of Coralon's essence. It's unfortunate.
How's he a waste of Coralon's essence?
They're
He's a half-elf.
racist, Davi. They're racist.
You mean because he's human?
Half elf. He's a half elf.
Oh, he's half elf. I forgot about that. I think he was human.
She's so listen. She's
This is
so
my
not
player.
racist. She's so not racist that she doesn't even recognize
Like,
racism when it
Dobby
happens.
doesn't see race.
Well, you know, he's a good guy.
As a weak defense, but I'll take it.
Davi will go step onto the leaf if
That guy has
allowed.
horns, he points at Jacobus.
And yet he's still more natural than you are.
I have scales and a tail.
I'm short.
Neither the horns nor the scales are an affront to the Feywild. But regardless,
You know, I'll
He's
take this as a compliment
fairly
because the Feywild sucks.
I wouldn't
He
Leo
really
expect
wants
isn't
to go home
any more
first.
fond of the Feywild as it is of him, I'm afraid, and I'm going to step onto the leaf.
I wouldn't expect a
Yeah.
foreigner to understand. But like I said, I've chosen to ignore that fact for the time
Oh,
being.
gracious of you.
Anyhow,
I love Davi trying to piece it together, and she's like, "Does he have some other magical plague we didn't know about?"
Like, you got to figure out what the abomination is.
So, I'm assuming you've all climbed onto the leaf.
I very
Robbie had.
clearly did step onto the leaf.
So as it begins to
Can't
lift
believe
you up,
two guys literally hand carved out of a friggin' stick and complaining about essence.
you guys raise, and it takes you a while to get to the lowest branches, but these branches are massive. We'll say it takes you half a football field. I don't know, Tab, it's distance. You go a long way, you don't want to jump it. And you start passing these massive branches. And as you do, you notice that similarly to how you have the floating icebergs in the Frostbite Queen's Court, you have these branches that stretch out onto these little knots, and you can see doors in them, and it appears as though an entire fort of sorts has been built up in this tree. There are some vine-like rope bridges that connect different branches. Some of them appear to have grown together at the end, creating loops. There's obviously been a degree of magical manipulation here, but it seems as though everything that you see, be it doors or the occasional table or the even the rope bridges, appear to have grown out of the tree. Eventually, it lifts you up next to a large branch, and your Eldrin guide hops off and starts walking towards the base of the tree itself.
Davi is soaking all of this in because, I mean, this is cool. This is stuff to take back to her people. This is great things to tell.
I'm just very uncomfortable here and want us to leave here as soon as we can.
Leo's muttering under his breath.
Davi will walk
Fearless
along
is
beside
pretty-
Leo.
Fearless is
Soldiers
taking it
and
in too. She's definitely checking stuff out.
So, Julius leads you through the boughs of the tree, and eventually takes you to this what seems like a hall of some sort. And when you walk it, you're walking into the trunk of the tree, and it's very clear that this is not carved, but shaped somehow.
There appear to be like little branches that even go and like go across the arc, and they've like woven into knotwork going across. It's almost as though everything has been. It's as though the tree grew naturally this way, though clearly it didn't. You can't find, you especially Bobby, can't find any signs of like marring or chopping or anything. It's just kind of blossomed into this fort.
It's amazing. This is so cool. Wow, I've never seen anything constructed quite like this before.
We're fairly proud of it. So he walks to the back of the hall, and in the hall you can see that there are actually flowering branches of the tree, and amongst the flowers there are these little red berries, of which Julius plucks one and pops one into his mouth. And feel free to have any you like. They don't taste great, but they're not. They provide all the subsistence you need.
They don't taste
Davi will
great
try one.
because they're poisonous, and he spent his entire lifetime working up an immunity from the poison just so he could do that.
Yeah, Davi will try one.
So Davi, they're just barely sweet. They're very ripe and very juicy. You can actually.
Don't lick my desk.
You feel
Sorry,
quite
the dog's
full.
licking my desk.
My dog does that kind of crap too. I'm like, would you quit licking the wall? You're so dumb.
You feel actually quite satiated after a single berry.
Is it kind of like Kagonas's?
The flavor is very similar. The berries are a little larger, but
Huh?
you're familiar with that sensation.
These are like good berries.
While we were trudging in, could I have we passed fruit trees that had like mangoes and bananas and stuff. Would it have been reasonable to have gathered some of that?
I mean, yes.
Okay, because
If you
I really
said it
wanted
at the
to do
time.
that. Well, I mean, I wanted to do it at the time, but then we ran into them little fish people, so...
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I'm going to say, good berries are good if you don't have anything, but look at what I found, and I'm gonna, show off some of the fruits I gathered. Is it okay that I gathered some of these?
I'm not going to be able to eat all of that. I think it's fine.
I'm gonna share with whoever wants some.
Behave, Tab. The berries are fine. They're kind of like the ones we got from Kaganos.
Right.
Yes.
But these will be tastier.
Jacobus, I assume you're near the back of the room, because that's who you are. You notice another Warforged passes by the door of the hall that you're standing in. He just seems to be on patrol of sorts. So,
Julius, how many more of those Warforged are there here?
24 or so. Depending on, if you sum up all of the ones across all of the branches. Julius kind of finds a seat somewhere in the hall, and there seem to be these long benches and chairs along the outside, but they're actually part of the tree itself. They're not independent pieces of furniture. So he kind of plops down. I suppose in a moment we'll head to the armory and we'll use that hole of yours to restock. Quan's nowhere to be found. When you were walking along the branches, he moved off in a different direction.
So he went to wherever his usual area is, I guess.
Papa.
I had a question, but I forgot what I wanted to ask.
Papa,
so.
Yes, you can eat a banana.
No, I don't want to eat a banana.
Are we telling a dog that?
Is the dog gonna peel the banana? Because this is an awesome trick.
She would just eat the whole thing.
Dog's growling at something.
She's growling, so we should hear something rude or something. So, those of you who wish to eat a berry, and those of you who wish to partake in
Nope.
the bounty that Irilith grabbed.
I mean, I didn't gather. I mean, I just gathered some fruits and stuff, enough for like our group.
Do we have rations?
And you have your own rations as well.
I'm not eating anything from this court.
Me either.
Oh. Well, I wish one of you would have told me that before I ate one of these mangoes. But
Why? I
My
enjoy
friend
it
chewed
when I enjoy it when something terrible happens to you because you don't understand the Feywild. That's my entire motivation.
I know that you do. You tried to sell me to the Admiral.
I'm sure the fruit's fine. I'm just doing it out of spite.
So,
I'm gonna offer some to Jackie and Leo. But they probably aren't gonna
Good
eat
things.
Julius lets you all eat whatever you eat if you choose to eat. And when it seems like everyone's kind of done, unless anyone would like to have further conversation with him, he stands up. Shall we head to the armory and unpack?
Yeah, sure, why not? May as well. I mean, we do appreciate your hospitality for sure.
No,
because, I mean, it would have been awkward if we'd come. Because this was the nearest land, it would have been awkward for us if you hadn't welcomed us in.
Well, you're helping me here. He leads you out, and there are dozens of paths that lead from this hall. You really have to be paying attention when he leads you through this tree.
Airlith is paying attention.
I know.
And
Dobby will
furthermore,
try, but no guarantees there.
Airlith is paying attention, and in fact,
if you're gonna read me one of your features, I already know.
Okay, yeah, but basically, I will be able to easily recall things. Yeah, just
I've read the
you.
player's handbook.
Yeah, well,
Dobby will try, but she'll get sidetracked, like telling Jackie all about the stone automatons and the history of it and what she knows, and
So he leads you through a very confusing labyrinth of branches. Sometimes heading out onto branches that seem like they shouldn't be able to hold all of your weight, but you move across it. You move across green vines with no issue at all. Finally arriving to a cluster of branches.
Okay, I'll be right back.
A cluster of branches that he gestures to as the armor. Shouldn't take us too long to get this outfitted, but we'll see what it takes.
Davy will help.
And so he leads you in, and along the walls there are racks upon racks at least 2 levels high of spears and swords, shields, and you can see through a little doorway there are armor stands with plate mail and leather of various types, chainmail, all in perfect lines inside the building. So
I want to confirm. You said we gained 2 levels.
No. Let's check the tips. So he kind of pauses inside. I suppose we can put the hole in the center here and just, if we stack up the crates, the Warforged will take care of the rest.
Leo?
Oh, you want my hole now?
Yeah.
As long as racist statues aren't in here.
I mean, in their defense,
Nope. Don't go there.
they are
Simple creatures.
very intelligent creatures intent on defending the original vision of Coralon's lands.
Yeah, how's that working for them?
Quite well so far.
Okay.
You know, things change over time. People grow. They
My entire
expand
land gets
their
invaded by
minds.
demons and torched to the ground. While little statues just stand there around on an island looking out, being useless. He just puts his hole down.
They have
Davy
their
will help.
opinions because of how they were created.
Davy will help collecting things out of the portable hole to make sure nothing that shouldn't come out of the portable hole comes out of the portable hole.
Yeah, don't touch my boots, my
His
hats,
books, his
and my
50,000 books in there.
200-ish, I think it says.
So you all set to work at removing all of the chests and crates from the portable hole. And Julius, of course, not happy to work silently, brings up, I may have a request for you all, and you can take it or leave it as you like.
What's that?
So this issue we've been having with the Sahagin, I can't handle it myself.
We're pretty good. Well, I shouldn't say we, but they
Sorry
are
about
pretty
that.
good at exterminating fish people.
I feel like the problem should have solved itself when you covered the entire ocean with a big lid that won't allow them to come up out of it.
So that's the part that confuses me. They've become very active on this island ever since the water turned to glass, and I don't understand it. And the Warforged have been ordered to guard the tree.
Not doing very good, are they?
Well, they're doing fine with the tree. They just
Oh,
can't
so we need
leave.
help anyway.
I wonder if they could be in league with the demons.
Warforged?
The Warforged?
No, the fish
I think
people.
so. I think you're onto something.
The fish people.
I mean,
The
it would not
Warforged
be on
might
your...
be in league with the fish people. That's why they can't handle all the fish people, because they're useless and standing down, and they're all cooperating. It's a
Leo.
conspiracy.
Hush.
Leo, quit being so ornery. I mean, I tend to agree with Davi. I mean, we've seen other creatures that have laid with those demons as well. I mean, granted, it was orcs and not of the Feywild, but
Is
it wouldn't
there
surprise me.
Is there a concentration of them anywhere, or a town, or do they have a base?
To be fair,
Is there an altar near some water we can burn?
Since I've been alone here, I haven't really attempted to range out. It almost seems as if they have patrols, but it's just such odd behavior. I don't want to be caught unawares, and with just Quan and I, it could end badly.
And a whole bunch of automatons.
We established they're useless.
So, do you have like a map of this island or anything?
It's kind of challenging based on the nature of the island.
But surely, as a military matter, you must.
It would
Challenging how?
It would be fantastic, but I don't have one personally because I haven't figured out how to have a map that changes.
Have you considered having an island that doesn't change? That would make the map at least easier.
I imagine that would have made the real estate choice a little easier if we had that option, but we don't.
So, like, you've got your tree here, though, but is there an area where you see more of these patrols, or where it's a little heavier or thicker or more dangerous, or?
Like I said, in the weeks I've been here, I've just been trying to transport the things off of the ship.
How long have you been here?
Several weeks.
You weren't here before?
No.
Who was
Was
here
somebody
before?
else here before?
Yeah.
The garrison was here, but they're gone now.
Where'd they go?
South.
Oh, the war. You silly people.
So, since you all seem like decent people,
All?
for the most part,
Knew it.
Super racist.
I would be very careful with where you assign your loyalties to. The courts are, how do we say this?
Petty.
Motivated to include outsiders in their dealings. As you pointed out, we've been doing this a long time, this war. The only thing that tilts the war are outsiders. So if you've been welcomed by open arms by one of the courts or some of their leaders, I would perhaps consider why they would do such a thing.
I mean, I think they technically kicked us out.
I mean,
We don't always have to tell them everything, Leah.
I'm not. Because, I mean,
Yep.
shoot,
The
there's some
racists don't have to know.
I think that loyalty is earned, usually.
Yeah. Just be careful you understand the difference between the flower that's luring you in to eat you and the flower that simply exists to be sweet.
I don't eat flowers.
You don't eat
That's not what he
fruit?
said.
I mean,
But no, I did not mean literally sweet to the taste.
oh.
Well, my goal is to help my friends and then go home.
And it's a worthy goal. Just be careful of who you ally yourself with in that pursuit.
Certainly. But I'll be honest with you. I feel like I have been honest with you. I don't particularly see either side as better than the other in this land.
And that's absolutely fair. And no offense meant whatsoever, you are an outsider. I don't think
We
you're
are.
meant to understand.
To be honest, I don't know that I want to. Because that would be a level of connection with this land that I hadn't really intended to feel.
Well, he kind of considers you there, Davi. Of any of the folks here that might understand best, you might be the one. You're the only one with a real connection here.
What connection? Do you mean these? She'll hold up a feather. Because I have no idea why I have these, other than
No, we know why you
Yeah.
have them, Davi. Kind of.
Well, you're the only one with a lasting connection to this place.
I don't think
How's
that's
it lasting? What do you mean?
Those feathers are not of the prime material plane.
Oh no.
We know that.
They're a link to the
Chris?
Feywild. And they're part of
How
it.
do you know that though?
You can't see it?
No, I know I drew the attention of I guess it's a god. I don't know. I don't know the way things work here exactly, but I drew the attention of a being here and ended up with these.
Well, whether you like it or not, you're part of this place, Davi.
What happens if I go home?
I don't know that much about it, but I suppose you can go anywhere you like, just like I can.
Will she feel disconnected from here if she goes home? In a bad way?
Never heard of anything like that. I've never traveled the plains like you have. Do you feel like something's missing now that you are not on the prime material plane?
Oh, yeah.
No, I feel more alive here
No,
than I
mean,
did
I
there.
just
Well, that's because things are more alive here.
miss my family, but you know. Leo misses the money. I'm sorry, but things are strange here.
I'm not missing the
Commerce
money. I
is
have
very
plenty of
odd.
money. I am missing a rational system of interacting with other human beings, trading and bartering for goods and service in a mercantile system designed for benefit of all.
Yeah, what he said.
And Julius laughs. You should likely visit the summer court then. I think you might enjoy that then, if you survived anyway.
See, I don't like that part.
What do you mean if we survived?
Oh, the rest
Is
of you
it-
will be fine.
Oh, because look, he's
You know,
a good
it really
guy.
is.
I didn't say he was a bad person. He's just an accident.
I mean,
Look, you don't know what my parents did. I don't know what they did.
I pretty well know what they did to get you.
and I don't. And do you remember your parents, Leo? Did they seem untoward? I mean,
My parents were fine.
okay,
They were nice
so then-
people. A little
so
religious.
probably wasn't an accident. Leo is not.
How's your relationship with your father, Irlith?
I mean, not good. I'm here, aren't I?
I don't think that you are
That
related,
aside, interracial things can be difficult for some people, but I don't see any issue with it. It is what it is. So, anyhow,
Do you... Is it that you just don't understand?
Understand what?
What's going to happen to that... the piece of soul that he has in him?
I don't know. I don't follow.
There is a piece of Fey soul inside that. An elven soul that is going to get lost to the abyss when he dies.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why?
Also mine, thank you.
Because
I'm
my
pretty
soul,
fond of that elven soul.
when I die, when I'm killed, just comes right back to the Feywild. And
Well.
I'm reborn again.
Think I'd rather get lost, thank you.
Well,
Every
what
time
happens
something
if
like him is created, we lose a little piece of Coralon to the abyss.
Not necessarily.
That's how the universe
what if he dies
works.
here?
He's mortal. It's a waste.
I mean, but what if he is killed here? I mean, would it go to the abyss or would it stay here in the Feywild?
He's been corrupted by his mortality. It's too late.
I mean, if
The
you look at it
unfortunate
other way,
part is-
I'm the symbol of a union of loving parents that would not have had it otherwise. So it's a piece of soul that would have existed longer. And you know what? Screw it.
He shoved that piece of soul way into that abyss. Way into that abyss.
The unfortunate part is whichever one of his parents made that decision did it knowing exactly what would happen to him. Now, this one here, he gestures over to Rafferty, were he to pass, he would join the Feywild as the rest of us do and be reborn here.
I'm sorry, Rafferty.
It's a bold assumption that I would be allowed to pass, but okay.
Well, as interesting as this conversation is, I think perhaps this is not going anywhere constructive.
Yeah, what's Mein Kampf in Sylvan? That's
Warforged.
So, what is it you're wanting us to do?
With the way I've been encountering them and frankly having to hide from them, it seems as if they're out on search for something, or I don't know. They're coming from somewhere, and it can't be the sea, because that's glass. So I can't imagine where on the island they're coming from, but clearly they have an access point somewhere here. If we could,
Is there a body of water here? On the island?
last time I checked, no, but that doesn't mean there isn't now.
Well,
Would one of your Warforged know that they do like patrols, or they just stand around uselessly, motionlessly, and somebody comes up to them, and then they defend the place?
They're bound to the tree. They were made from the tree, and they were ordered to be to defend the tree. They will not leave.
and you have no idea
Sounds like your whole
where to even point us towards as far as finding where these other creatures may be from.
also sounds like your whole problem can be solved by you not leaving the tree, since you just hear us a resupply point.
It's a fair point. Like I said, asked it as a favor. If it's not in your plan on your way to visit the Admiral for whatever reason you have to associate with the Unseelie, that's totally understood. I would just appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I think we can take a poke around. I'd like to know if there's any. I mean, if they're acting unusual and searching for something, I'd like to make sure it's not related to this demon problem.
I also like to make sure we're not doing this out of the goodness of our hearts, obviously.
Well, I mean, he's given us some information. Like, we know that this glass is unusual and new, and he's offered us some shelter.
Have
and
you
he's
heard?
been real
Have you
nice
heard of a
to us.
sunk cost fallacy, Earlith?
I mean,
What time of day is it?
The same time it is every day.
Morning. Well, no, it's morning now. But as far as how long you've been awake, it's after lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we go on and start maybe doing some searching. I mean, it's early enough in the day that's...
I do think that Leo has a point.
oh, Leo
That
has something
there
that
surely
happens
would-
at dawn, doesn't he?
That's just a crystal recharges, I think. Which is
Well,
fully charged because every time it charges on.
I also would like to know what's in it for us.
Julius kind of looks between Leo and Jacobus. I asked for a favor. That's all.
So you would owe us a favor in return, then?
So, it is very clear you have spent a great deal of time at the Unseelie Court. Much more than you have ever admitted to at this point. But
I mean,
no, that's not how
We were like this before we came to the Feywild, actually.
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to say that's very true. We were like,
I love
this
the
even
one
before we
that
came here.
I love that I'm not the one giving away our ties to the Unseelie Court. Like, I'm like low key brilliant this whole time, and everyone's just like, "Let's tell him everything." This man in a military outfit designed specifically to thwart.
I have totally botched.
To
the
be fair,
insight
the
check.
only
I think
thing-
he's totally above board, super nice.
Leo does too.
Yeah. Besides,
Really, the only thing I said was that I want to know what's in it for us. So, I mean, if that's giving him info, then cool. But
I suppose if you want to be mercenaries,
yes.
Leo has a thing about money. You can't.
I'm getting over this because I have money. I can't do anything with it. I'm a collector now.
Is it really gold you want?
No.
No.
Talk about your dog. Is it for sale?
I would love to see you attempt
Also no.
to purchase Quan.
I don't think that Quad is so much a dog, Leo, as another person.
I think it's a sentient being. Let's not start being rude.
Oh, let's not start being rude now.
We wouldn't want this party to get caught up in human trafficking or anything.
Have to be polite
I mean-
and extremely racist, people.
We're gonna look at Rafferty when he...
Wait, who asked that?
I think
Yes, I
that
just
we
said
need
it.
to make sure whether this is connected to the demon problem or not.
I mean, I feel like that's the case as well, but
these
far as
things
the
are
rest of-
native here, aren't they?
yeah, but I mean, but they're acting strangely.
Well,
And-
the entire ocean got turned to glass.
Yes, it did. That's also strange.
Also, the entire Feywild is acting strangely since the moment we got here, and probably for millennia before that.
I think we should do some investigations and continue on our journey. So, we appreciate your hospitality. We have assisted you, and thank you for offering us some respite and a meal, and now we need to be on our way. And if we run across things along the way, we'll try to deal with it as we can, but we cannot make any guarantees.
I take my whole back.
Understood. If you find that you need a place to rest away from all of the, how do we call it, pressures of the West, feel free to come and stay again. If you ever
Thank
need a
you.
night's rest, this is a safe
Yes.
place.
It's been very welcoming.
Leo's probably feeling a little less welcome than everybody else.
I
Poor
truly
Leo.
am sorry. It's not your fault.
You know, those are two separate sentences you cannot put together and convey an emotion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, I understand,
Aerolith, pick your words carefully.
but he's so nice.
It's just a shame, that's all.
You can't be seduced by every pretty smile that comes your way.
Oh,
He
Tax
has
had a
his
pretty smile.
beliefs, whether they're right or wrong. That's his beliefs. I think we should be on our way.
Yes.
Well, if you head out to the area in front of the hole, one of the branches can lower you down.
Thank you so much.
Do you mind if I grab a few more berries along the way?
No, feel free.
Davio grabs some berries and fruit or whatever to supplement rations.
So you all head out from the hall, and he busies himself with putting armor on racks. Davi, you pass a few of the berries and the branches as you go, and Aerolith leads you back. She has a fairly good recollection of the way back.
This way. No, this branch.
And even when she takes a path that wasn't the path you took in, she still has good enough direction sense that she's able to lead you back towards the main hall. You can kind of see now, looking around at the branches, now that you have time, you can see the Warforged patrolling along the different on the different levels of the tree. It's interesting to you that you see that some of them appear to be purpose-built. There are some that are larger, some that are more slim, some that look as if they have their plate mail built right onto them, and others that are clearly more scholarly. But you make your way to the large flat leaf. I suppose you all go and stand on it?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Sure.
So you all
That
settle
felt
on
leading.
there. What's that?
That felt very leading.
No, I'm asking. I just don't want to assume.
If Davi can do it without doing any harm to anything or whatever, she'll take a piece of branch or something just as basically keepsake from this place.
So when you reach out to grab a piece of branch, you notice that it does not flex at all.
She won't do harm to it or anything. It's
just remarkably sturdy. You've never seen wood that's quite so durable.
Okay.
So you all step onto the leaf, and the leaf, in response to the weight, begins lowering you to the ground. A doorman for a cat.
Yeah. You have been summoned.
So you are easily lowered to the ground, and there at the bottom, the two Warforged look on as you all step off the leaf and await to continue.
We'll head on into the woods, I suppose. Keep going north.
So, are we doing anything with the fish?
Well, I mean, I think we should watch for tracks and try to see if we find anything along the way.
I'll be doing that.
I'd like to try to figure out what's going on with this why they're acting weird, and if we can find any clues about why this mirrored water has happened, or
See, we
what
can
they're searching for, or any of
we can
that.
solve his fish problem and figure out what was doing it, and then we can hold that information hostage until we get something valuable in return for it.
I just want to make sure our home is safe.
I just want to leave this place and continue to where we were intending to go as soon as we can.
Well, you know.
So you all are moving off to the north through the underbrush. Let's roll a survival check.
Happy to.
Dobby's probably helping her.
Yeah, I can assist.
Oh God, I hope she was helping. Oh, if she's helping, can I roll with advantage?
Does Davi have survival proficiency?
I don't remember. No,
You have a check mark
I
next
don't
to
have
it.
proficiency. No.
But she has a big number to it too.
She's
she's
very
got like
perceptive.
She's got like a +6 to survival and +5.
Plus
One
5.
other person can roll a survival check.
Is Davi the...
Yeah,
No,
you're the
that's
next
right.
one. You would
Not
be the
me.
one. Oh, frick. Even worse than me.
This is a great session.
Huge success!
Wait, do we have like inspiration or hero points or anything like that over here?
No, this will be much more interesting watching Cag come up with a way to not ruin the session and yet hinder us. Go.
Hold on.
Mute it.
I need lip reading.
We just type for each other. So, you head off to the woods, and Irilith and Davi, you just can't get over how odd the terrain is, and the types of plants that are around. Your senses are almost overwhelmed with the amount of fruit and flowers that are, scattered about you. Some of the flowers are easily as big as Davi. But even though you keep an eye out for tracks, you can't seem to find any trace of creatures passing by. But again, you chalk it up largely to the change in environment and perhaps what Jorliath alluded to, in that the terrain itself changes quite a bit out here.
Davi will be busy getting sidetracked by collecting samples, and oh my gosh, did you see the size of this banana? Did you see this flower? Ooh,
Yeah,
see,
Irilith and Davi will be like, oh my God, look at this.
And the flowers are massive. Davi, you, having traveled quite a bit, recognize them as being from where is Cag from? Hold on, my Feywild map skills are horrible. There's a forest that a lot of the
Chult?
elves... What?
Chult?
No. The High Forest? Is it called the High Forest? In the High Forest, Davi, having traveled by there before, you recognize a lot of these species as being very similar, but as with everything in the Feywild, the colors are brighter and like the blooms are just as big as your face. Like everything here is massive.
Like big enough
bananas.
to eat your face?
If they wanted to, but they don't appear interested. But the fruits, everything is just large and plentiful.
Davi will be regaling Irilith with, oh, these are blah blah blah, and species, and I've seen these before, but not this big.
And of course, being proficient in nature that I am, I will be very into it. I'll be like, oh.
So you work your way through the woods, and Irilith, there are times where you have to lead the group around larger, thicker clumps of the forest, because it almost seems like some parts are just this single mass of clustered trees, and there's no way to make it through the woods there. But eventually you work your way out to the beach's edge, and you look out across the glass in front of you. You have made it to the beach.
With no sign of the creatures or anything.
Couldn't pick up any tracks.
I mean, we displayed some dominance when last we met them, so.
I think we missed everything. I mean, maybe that's good, and maybe should we go back and try to see if we can find stuff, or what do y'all think?
I thought the idea was that we walk through and see what we find on the way. And
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they're
But no, we did
acting
that,
weird
and-
or they're searching for something, what if they're searching for something? What if they're tied in with the demons?
what if they hold a secret that the guy would want to pay good money to know about?
You can hope, Leo, you can hope, but I mean, what do y'all think? Should we go on, or should we poke around this island a little more?
Well, I think that you said earlier this was Rafferty's gig, so maybe we should let Rafferty decide.
Rafferty just wants to go on to the Admiral, so we already know his stance.
Well then, I mean, I would like to help Jorlius, and maybe when we come back, we'll be able to do a little more poking around. But I mean, we haven't seen anything as we've come through.
My willingness to help him would depend heavily on if it would aid us in going where we need to go.
I thought you were highly opposed of telling him where we needed to go.
Also, we really should have asked him if he knew where the Admiral was. He seemed to know where the Admiral was, but we didn't ask.
No, because we have to be secret.
Well, I mean, he knew we were going to see the Admiral, even though we didn't say we... I mean, he was obviously used some
I'm not
logic.
opposed to him. No, we told him we were going to see the Admiral. We told him that
we
we were
going north, and he assumed it. We just
Yes.
didn't confirm or deny it.
All right.
So perhaps we parlay with him and ask if he will aid us on our need to get to where we're going.
Maybe we can get his shitty ship if the mirror breaks, and we actually can sail home and not sink on our little jolly boat that he ran aground.
So, Leo, could you send Stump to maybe make a circuit and just see if
I
he
will
sees
send
anything
Stump
in this?
immediately.
Stump?
Stick.
Not Stump. Stick.
I turn Stick into 7-foot-tall half-orc and send running back.
Rule of cool. Rule of cool. It is allowed.
Oh God. Sorry.
That's okay. That was
Dick.
the best one.
Stump's having some wild dreams right now.
That whole thing about being a bird.
I can fly.
Could you send Stick just to make a sweep and see if he sees anything? And
What are we looking for?
signs of activity. Anything unusual?
Alright. I sit down. Crisscross applesauce. And send Stick up in the air to look for any, like, movement or tracks, I guess.
Not really tracks, but just anything unusual.
Footsteps, like, anywhere that a fish person would have walked through, or... What's unusual?
This is an island that repositions and moves and shifts, so, everything is the answer to that question.
Can roll a perception check for Stick.
With advantage?
Sure. Because he has eyes.
He has an advantage on checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Well, he's doing perception checks based on taste, so...
Okay. I don't know how to... There. Well, that's something.
So, he reports back on a lot of treetops. It's very hard to pierce through the
Found trees.
through the tops of trees. He does make a comment that there is a rocky outcropping along one of the beaches, however. And it seems like that's the only kind of really rock that's anywhere on the island.
Does it look like there's water around it, or is it like mirror all the way up?
It's mirror all the way up.
There's a rock on a beach.
How far away is it?
Oh, it's several football fields.
At least.
Is that a Canadian football field or American?
It's American rules because they have a slightly shorter rink, and
I mean, let's go take a look, and then if we don't find anything really of note, we can head on out.
I pet Stick and stick him on my shoulder. Did I make him disappear?
Rude. So you're heading off on that in that direction then?
Yeah.
I make Stick appear again and ask him which direction it was.
So Stick informs you that it is east along the beach for a ways till you curve around to the east side of the island where the rocks are.
Okay. It's that way.
We really don't want to east side of the island, though, do we?
What's the matter?
Aren't we trying to go north to the Admiral? What
We are
doing?
the north side of the...
Really know exactly where the Admiral is, so we'll head that way.
Alright. So the group strikes off. and,
Leo leads the way.
with Leo leading the way. The beaches are just as eventful as the previous sites on the island. Again, the same overgrowth and giant plants that you're used to seeing. Leo, you finally start to see the rock outcropping that rises out of the water, and it seems to where you see it, it's it comes up and out of the water at a gentle slope, but eventually as you walk along it, you see that it's 2 stories, 30 feet high, above your heads.
I send Stick over to just kind of sit on it.
As you lead the group, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Flip wizard. My saving throw doesn't matter. Advantage?
No.
Nailing it.
So, as you step through, you step on a branch that sets off a trigger, and several darts shoot out from behind a rock and hit you for 4 poison damage.
It hit my good lung.
What a hypochondriac.
So,
It sting. Jacob must lead the way. Oh.
Jackie, can you look around for traps? Although I think he's already found them.
Oh. Don't leave me behind. I don't care if I'm dead. Carry me with you.
We'll throw you in the hole if you die.
That's good. Don't bury me here.
We'll look for more traps.
Roll me
bury
an investigation.
Don't bury me here.
It seems like a good place to bury him, actually.
Well, look, Davi will start looking around for footprints or something other than our own.
Just think of all the stuff your mushrooms have to feed on if we buried you here. Like parts of you would
not on this plane.
So
but you would get to like
I'm
ruin
going to
this
the dark
island.
abyss for my own terms.
Jacobus,
I don't think you're gonna die.
you see that there's definitely been some foot traffic here, and upon further investigation, you see that the foot traffic leads you right up to the face of this rocky outcropping. You can't really discern anything interesting about it, other than the fact that it looks like some of the footprints walk you into the wall.
Leo starts lagging behind with a limp.
God, such a
I
big.
take a look at the wall, the rock or whatever. There's like a secret entrance here.
So you kind of root around a little bit, and it's hard for you to make out anything particular until Davi walks up and immediately notices some stonework that's very fine. So
She'll point it out.
Davi, you can see that there's this hairline. We'll call it a trace of a door, and when you look around it, you can see that there's actually 6 circles surrounding this with the same kind of hairline carving.
Earlith, look at this, because you're real good at dungeony things.
No.
Nope,
Well,
that's the other one.
that's the other one.
Oh, is that the other one? I thought this was
Yeah.
Earlith.
No, but she does have some stuff, but I don't know that it's any good for this. Because
So
I'm actually better in the deep, dark
Oh,
dun.
okay. I thought that was Earlith. I really did.
now that she's pointed it out, Jacobus, you see that there's actually some kind of scratched out symbol in one of the circles. Kind of lean in and investigate it. It looks
Can I
like
make it out at all?
there's scratches that we're gonna draw.
Oh.
Oh. I draw and I think it's deleted.
You're not the DM on this.
Can't all stand in those circles.
Sorry about that. Who's dead?
Leo.
Leo.
Why can't I not draw anymore?
Because it's you have to draw like a line for some reason. I don't know if the thing is too small, but if you draw too little, it doesn't do anything. I
That's
noticed.
bullshit.
It's like you can't do dots.
I think every now and then we need to go back to Roll20 just to remember how grateful we are for Foundry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What we really need to do is like every 3 months just delete all add-ons and go find new ones and install them so to see which ones works.
Make my thing smaller. Anyway.
Do you want me to help?
No.
Okay.
Cast, I get MS Paint up and just do a screenshot of a picture. One. A4. Minus. A tree. It's a 3.
Draw, damn you. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself for this one.
It's a waffle.
So do we know do we know how to get in?
Yes.
This line is inside the circle.
It's a keypad.
Is there any logic to the patterns that are in the little circles?
Wait,
I hate to tell all
time
y'all,
out.
but this is the part of the stupid Ultima games and crap that I always just went.
That's okay. It's
figure it
okay.
out. I hate this shit. Go look it up on the web.
Leah
You
has
didn't
hit
say that.
upon a solution. Leah has hit upon a solution. We'll simply ask the DM if there's a logical
Okay.
pattern.
Hey, Cog, is there a solution to this puzzle?
No.
Okay, well, we tried. We've tried nothing and we failed. Let's go.
Tab, go look on the web and see if anybody's posted the walkthrough.
Okay. What is the answer to the riddle in the Feywild?
Crush your enemies. See
I-
them driven before you.
I say Fey.
Does it appear to be a language?
So the notes are fairly scratched out. They're not like any language you've seen.
I touch one.
So, Leo, when you touch one, it glows momentarily.
Step back.
I step back.
You step back, and the circle stops glowing.
Okay. I press left one, force from the left one. I press the second from the left, the
Jesus.
fifth from the left.
Hold on, wait, stop. You have to tell me what exactly you're doing, because otherwise... What?
I press the left one.
This one?
What?
Oh, we need
Yes.
to change colors.
If you go left to right, we'll do
I can draw here. I'd press that one.
Okay. So you touch that, and it glows.
Then I press that one.
Okay, and you have two hands on it, and both are glowing.
I release.
You let go, and they stop glowing.
This is going to be a teamwork thing.
I spread my long fingers out and see how many I can touch at the same time.
You can only touch one at a time.
All right. Well, David, no, you're too short. Jacobus.
He's not wrong.
I touch those two again. Then I touch this one.
Yeah, I touched the one with 3 marks on it.
Then touch that one.
Then the one with 4 marks on it.
Then we take somebody can reach them. Touch that one and then that one.
Alright.
Get Airlith in on it or Rafferty.
So,
Might have
all
to
of
be
the-
who's
so-
Rafferty's touching him and Leo's touching him, and I'm gonna look at Jackie and I'm gonna go, do you want to touch it or do I?
So, Leo, you touch the two with the single lines, and they begin to glow. Jacobus touches the oh my gosh, I just saw Felix's
Rafferty.
images. It's amazing. Who's touching the second set? Is it
It was Rafferty.
Rafferty.
So Rafferty touches the two. Can you see my cursor? Does it show?
No. For some reason.
Really? It doesn't show my cursor? That sucks. So Rafferty
can see everybody
touches
else's
the second and third circles, and they begin to glow. As soon as Jacobus touches the fifth circle, they all do not glow any longer.
They all go out.
They all go out.
Jacobus, you're
Well-
obviously tainted. Airlift, take over.
Same sequence.
Yes.
I'm yeah.
Touch them in that order,
Same
but then
sequence,
touch
but reverse the last
hashtag
two.
one, and then reverse the last two.
Revert. Wait. What? Tell me the order you want to touch them in.
The world's
The
weirdest
The
pound
same
sign.
order for the first 4, and then just reverse the last 2.
Okay.
I like that this riddle is equally painful for the DM.
Right?
Serves
same-
you right.
So the first two light up.
What we learned was the next time they all have numbers above them.
Yeah. The first two light up. that are touched. Leo touches, 1 and 4, and they light up. Rafferty touches 2 and 3, and they both light up. And then once Irilith touches the 6th, they all turn off.
Why can nobody do this right?
What if I touch it first? Everybody take your hand off. And then I'm going to reach out and touch the 6th
Press the
one.
last 2 together
So
at the same time.
So Irilith touches the 6th, and that turns on. And once she touches the 5th, they both turn off.
Okay, so I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to do what Davi said. I'm going to touch them both at the same time.
You touch them both at the same time, and there's almost kind of a flutter, and then they don't turn on.
So just leave that one off and light up the rest of them in the order we were doing.
All right, okay. I'm going to touch the 6th one and get Leo to touch his 2 and Rafferty to touch his 2.
Okay. So you touch the 6th one, and as soon as Leo touches the first one, you can hear the door in front of you rumble, and it actually pushes back and slides into the stone.
Okay.
Thank God.
There we go.
we have solved the riddle without actually knowing what we're doing.
So what I'm learning is that for Honey's birthday, we need to take her to an escaper.
Yes.
God.
We did an escape room. She really liked it, actually.
Oh.
I actually did enjoy parts of it, but then I got obsessed with the clock that was nothing, and it pissed me off.
They're like, everything is in it for a reason. They just had a thing sitting in there.
Oh.
It's like this weird-looking, strange lamp clock thing that I'm like, this has got to be something. It was nothing.
Came in after a few minutes, like, asked her, like, oh, it's just a clock. So you know what time it is. Like,
oh, dear God.
So, first question, can you see anything on this map?
yes.
Can you see
Yes.
everything on this map?
I can't.
Yes.
The door blocks line of sight. The walls do not.
That's
Oh, yeah.
This blocks line of sight.
highly
I can see
frustrating.
around it.
I can see
like,
right in
yeah.
here, I can see right in here, and I can see right in here.
Oh, well. That's okay.
Alright, well, whatever. Well,
It's like there's a black path from the door back, but then on
Jackie,
either
look
side
and make
it's
sure
clear.
it's not going to shoot darts at Leo again, because he might die.
I am already dying.
I mean,
I
we
don't
don't
think I
have
have a
time
dose
for
he
your
ever healed me.
existential crisis, Leo.
apparently
My life is
Julius-
an existential crisis. Thank you very much.
Julius really
That's why I
hit
said we don't
hit
have
tab
time
in the
for it.
soul there. Your nails came out really nicely.
Thank you.
So, being that it is midnight,
Is this a good place to stop before we get delved in?
This is. We've managed not to, like, completely let the person we're probably going to have to kill later know what we're doing, which I appreciate.
I'm fine with it. We're gonna murder all the Warforged.
Take over the U tree for ourselves.
I'm not gonna take it over. I'm gonna burn it down.
I wonder if we were to take this outpost, like conquer the outpost, if it would become part of the Autumn Court now. Since technically we belong to the Autumn Court.
So we found a logical way to overcome the fact that Lee and I rode like crap and actually do the
all it
part of the
took
quest
was-
on this island.
All it took was getting Leo shot with darts.
Well, the good
Slowly bleeding out.
I have to tell you guys, Kai got a table for this of like, what you rolled and what you would get in terms of clues from it, and then you got a 1.
I was like,
That's why we had to
they
pause
don't
and
find
like,
anything.
So
I'm not, like, with a 1, you don't get shit.
We'll just make Stick go up and do a quick circuit, and maybe he'll actually find something that will put us back
Maybe if you
on the
roll
track.
enough times, we'll find anything useful at all.
Exactly.
Alright. Now, explain the logic behind that puzzle.
You had to add up to 10.
Okay.
Oh, well, I just would have,
If you had rolled high enough, you would have seen how it was done, but you didn't.
There's I detest the game of chess, and I do not like logic games. Those are like the things
yeah.
in this world that and
Yeah.
jumping puzzles.
Yeah.
And she
but that
does
was
not
to do-
like. She doesn't like. Betrayal games.
No.
Yes.
True.
Now, this was if you had rolled high enough on your survival, you would have had significant clues as to how the puzzle is done. But since you didn't, you have to resort to trial and error, which you actually did. You actually did really well. So I think that's fine.
But you know the video game puzzle experience in this group, honey aside.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
What?
this is
It's
part of the
pretty
reason I
significant.
hated the game Portal or whatever, because it was like all this like, go figure this out. Oh, look, we have more clues over here, and you got to figure this out. And oh
You
my
didn't even play
god,
Portal. You just watched me play Portal. You didn't even do anything.
now.
It's one of the best games ever.
It's terrible.
Except that it made me incredibly motion sick.
Yeah. That's another one that made me motion sick. I also just watched Cog play it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We need to just have a list of what didn't make you motion sick.
Yeah, that's easier.
UO.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley.
And
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Stardew Valley.
Top down, I do pretty well with, but anything 3D, like even WoW, it's.
Did you?
Ugh.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I think her brain like tries to force depth perception into it.
Well, I think so. I mean, I think one of the reasons why the Viking game and WoW is a little bit better is when it's less real. I don't know if I try to focus on the details less.
I wonder if it's something to do with your vision,
I mean,
Yeah.
like that you're blind on one eye or whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's exactly what that is.
But
Yeah.
I have Dramamine now, so.
Yeah. Drugs.
Lord have
Not
mercy.
even
We
kidding.
love our casta, and we will work with around whatever we need to.
Well, I don't want to work around it, so.
Yeah.
You know,
Sea of Thieves all day. 12 hours tomorrow, Casta.
let's
Be
do
there.
it. Listen, it's real life too, though. I have ridden on a boat exactly once, and that was it. I threw up the whole time.
She
Oh,
is too
man.
addicted to Valheim to do play any other game right now.
No, I'll play Sea of Thieves.
For this express purpose of making you seasick, we're gonna play Sea of Thieves.
Well, she's got
Best
Dramamine
reason.
now.
I do.
Yeah, we gotta push it to its limit.